Go ahead, take a seat. Join us for Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer, where the conversations are real, the stories run deep, and absolutely nothing is off limits. From small town life and big time headlines to sports, politics, faith, family, and the everyday chaos of modern living, we talk about it all. No polished corporate nonsense, no fake outrage for clicks, just honest conversation served up with a little humor, a little wisdom, and the kind of storytelling that feels like late evenings from the back porch. Sometimes thoughtful, sometimes hilarious, sometimes completely off the rails, but always real. Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer is brought to you in part by Glenn Mechanical. When you want the job done right the very first time. Jason Hardy State Farm. Like a good neighbor, Jason Hardy and State Farm are there. Country Village Sporting Goods. Everything you need to get to the woods, the water, or the camp. Cook's Body Shop. Bad things are going to happen, and when they do, look to Cook's. Davis Farms Country Market with true farm-to-table fresh selections. Cross Roofing and Sheet Metal. Put a solid future above your head. Harrison's Financial Management. Your future, our commitment. Murphy Arts District. For the latest info, go to eldomad.com. Larry's Pizza. Home of the Double Pizza Parade. The Rushing Law Firm. Get someone in your corner who fights for you. The Michael Fife Campaign for Sheriff of Union County. Mystic Creek Golf Club voted the #1 course in Arkansas. Smackover Motors. 50 years of keys, road trips, and memories at Smackover Motors. Timberlane Meat Market. Eat local, eat often. Southern Sass Image and Design. The official photographers for South Arkansas Now at southarkansasnow.com. And by ProMed Ambulance. World-class care and hometown values. Recorded live at the southarkansasnow.com studios in beautiful, historic downtown El Dorado, Arkansas. Kick your shoes off, grab a seat, and welcome to the Big Couch. Your host, Troy Boomer Barrios and B.A. Sandy Sanford.
Thank you, Johnny Dean, and welcome to another edition of Off the Back Porch and From the Big Couch.
The Big Couch.
Yeah, and that's what Johnny says. He says, "Now welcome your host on the Big Couch."
So I got some input. I got to name.
Yeah, you got to name something.
Studio.
You know, you did the FedEx
I did
thing.
like that. I said, yeah. We're going to call it the Big Couch.
Yeah. So, and welcome to our special guest this week, and that's Anna Sellers. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
It's still hard to call her Anna Sellers. She's very happily married to a good friend of mine, and obviously a good husband to her. But it's been Anna Reynolds for so long.
For so long, yeah.
It was for a long time.
Yeah.
Longer than most people.
We're glad you're here. Hey,
Thank you.
Hey, look, love has no time limit.
That's right.
I'm grateful
not.
that y'all found each other. We talked about that already, but
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to be here.
And we have the new coffee table right there in the
I
middle.
like the little
Microphone in the middle of it. Yeah.
Kind of adds a little ambiance to
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah. Ambiance.
So that's what
I've been trying not to have any of that.
Yeah, there's a vaccine for that now. But.
Ask your doctor if ambiance is right for you. Yeah.
That's his name, Dr. Ambiance.
Hey, by the way, Boomer, what an awesome event we had. And I hate that you weren't able to be there
and
with
I'm
Chuck
going to say
Barrett.
that I've heard so much good things about, from the I forgot how y'all named it.
Calling the Hogs.
Calling the Hogs.
Yeah, stories from the booth.
Yeah.
And, of course, how can you go wrong with Rex Nelson?
Rex is so smooth.
He is.
You did some of it online, and Rex Nelson is.
Rex was great, and Chuck was so accommodating.
Did Chuck ask about me? I mean, we had that one time when we met each other.
He did several times, as a matter of fact.
He didn't.
No, he didn't. But Chuck was, I had told him at first I was going to put him and Rex in a green room so they could eat beforehand.
Uh-huh.
And Chuck said, "Man, don't put me in a green room." He said, "Put me out there at the table with you."
To be with the people.
He said, "If I get to eat beforehand, it's fine. If I don't get to eat till afterwards, it's fine. If I don't get to eat at all, I'm okay."
Well,
he said, "But those are my people, man. I need to be
very gracious.
Yes, and even though I had security who was supposed to be blocking off the entrance over there, somehow he still had 30 or 40 people come by the table to talk to him. Hey, you remember this one time you said,
Oh my God.
That's,
Yeah.
man, they know I'm recording a podcast. Now, why are they going to try to call me or text me like right now?
And you have yours turned off. I don't even know where mine is.
Yeah.
We'll
We'll find yours here in just a second when it starts ringing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, great event. And of course, then we went to Mystic Creek the next morning and Chuck did his show from there, the Chuck and Bo show. Mm-hmm. And that was a hoot. And what's cool is, so they have a guy that's on the show with them, one of the producers, Bart, young guy. Uh-huh. And Bart has just recently taken up golf, but according to Chuck, is a pretty good golfer. And
don't you hate those guys?
Yes. Those guys who just start playing
for half our life. And a guy that's a great athlete says, I think I'll go play golf, and then shoots in the 80s.
Yeah, just takes it up, and it's just like no big deal. Yeah. But so we get there to Mystic, and Chuck's looking around at the course while they're getting ready to go in the air. And of course, it's still dark, And once it gets daylight, he says, by the way, Bart, just letting you know, there is a consensus. And he said, what's that? He said, you couldn't break 90 out here.
You'd be hard pressed to break 100.
And so Bart was like, hold my beer and watch this. So they are all coming down. Bart, Bo, and Chuck are all coming down in July. They're going to do the show live at Mystic.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go play and see if Bart can break 90. So
I couldn't break 90 on the front nine.
I think I've been below 90 several times out there, but barely, like 88.
Yeah, but you're a student of the game.
Yeah, I'm still suck at it, but
well,
I'm still a D student.
I quit playing years ago. I got hot one afternoon, like it is now, and I said, that's it. Got heart condition, take all this medicine, it makes you hot anyway, and so I just quit.
Shame of it is you're a decent golfer.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I've never been a student. I just always wanted to play, and it's just another reason to wear funny clothes and hang out with your buddies.
Hang out with your buddy, yeah. Listen, I got to say, one of the best shots I ever saw, you hit an eagle there at the course in Alma.
Yeah, up on the hill.
Yeah.
The course that starts out up on the hill.
Yeah. Beautiful. That's actually my favorite course in Arkansas.
It was an elevated green, and we get up there, and we were all, I can't remember how many.
About 180 out. It was a long way.
But I mean, how many of us were playing? We had
me and you and Mike, I think. This was just me, you and Mike.
And we used to looking for my ball, and I said, well, I know I hit it up to the level of the green. Mm-hmm. We looked all around, because you don't ever expect to be on the green.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're looking all around, and Sandy goes over there and says, well, here it is in the cup. And so, an eagle is 2 under. If you par 5, an eagle's a 3. And so that was probably one of 3 eagles that I've hit my whole life.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think I've only had one.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And not in a scramble.
Yeah.
Now,
in scrambles.
In scrambles, we had an eagle on number 18 at the country club. You, Scott Reed, Chris Ely, and I.
Yeah. But Scott Reed and Chris Ely.
Yeah, but neither one of them were responsible for that. It was like the only shot I had all day.
Yeah. You putted it.
No, it was a free 5-iron. So, both those guys hit their 5s like 200 yards. And then you're teeing up, laying 0.
Yeah.
And we were still 3-something out, but I put us on the green, and it rolled right up to the edge of the cup. And I hit first, and I remember Ely said, I'm not hitting.
I remember now.
Why am I even going to hit?
I remember now. I was trying to remember even that happening. Yeah.
And we get up there, and it literally was just.
By the way, Anna, Chris is a scratch golfer.
Yeah. And Scott Reed's no joke either.
Yeah, Scott Reed, for somebody that's a coach all the time, can really he's one of those natural athletes that can just whack the ball.
Do anything.
Yeah.
He's quarterback at the University of Arkansas.
Sandy started a tournament at the country club that was to benefit El Rey football. And so Scott Reed is playing on our team, and we have Chris Ely.
Yeah.
And so some of the other coaches are playing in the next hole from us. Uh-huh. They whack one and hit Scott Reed in the soft part of your back. I mean, whacked him.
Yeah.
And he just grabs himself and turns around and looks back at those guys. And I saw fire coming out of his eyes. I went, man, I wouldn't want to be an assistant coach.
Hey, whoever that assistant coach is, he's now coaching 7th grade. He's coaching 7th grade offensive line for the rest of his career.
Yeah. Somewhere in the Delta.
Yeah. I asked Jimmy Johnson, I think we wrongly blamed Chris Borofsky, that it was Borofsky, but it wasn't.
Who
and
was
Jimmy told me who. I don't remember. I don't remember now who it was.
I was trying to remember who was in that group, but I remember it being Chris,
I remember Jimmy Johnson, Chris.
and I don't remember who
It
the other
wasn't
two-
Jameson.
I don't remember who the other two guys were.
Wasn't Ezel. I mean, you hope not. Ezel's the golf coach.
Yeah.
Unless he says, "Hey, y'all watch me get Scott Reed
Yeah,
with this."
I'm a Pele him right in his back.
Oh
Anyway.
man. Hey, I saw this, Boomer, and I thought, wow, this was an interesting story that I saw, and it was about Toby Keith.
Yeah.
And rest in peace. Said he didn't sit down in a corporate boardroom and write a calculated radio hit. He sat down with a battered guitar and a broken heart, fueled by the recent loss of his veteran father. Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue was not a political manifesto. It was a raw, visceral reaction to the smoke still rising from Ground Zero. It was a giving son's promise that the flag his father loved so fiercely would never be folded in silence. When the troops first heard it, they didn't just applaud, they roared. It was an undeniable heartbeat of a nation pushed too far. The music industry didn't see it that way. Executives told him the lyrics were too sharp, get rid of the song, never going to put it on a label. Critics quickly labeled it as ignorant. Fellow artists began distancing themselves from him. They demanded he tone it down. He said, not only will I not tone it down, but I'll make it the name of the album.
Yeah.
He wasn't looking for mainstream approval. He was looking for truth. He understood that in dusty corners of Oklahoma and tight-knit communities in the South, loyalty isn't spoken in soft nuances.
Uh-huh.
He took the song from flashing cameras deep into the heart of the desert. He stood on the back of flatbed trucks looking into exhausted eyes of young soldiers. He saw the dust on their boots, and he wasn't a platinum-selling celebrity. He was a brother who spoke their exact language. Toby Keith wore that defiance like a well-worn denim jacket. 22 years ago this week, shifting cultural tides and endless backlashes, he never backed off a single word. He proved that true authenticity isn't about being liked. It's about standing tall, clenching your fist, and refusing to lower your voice when the world demands silence.
Yeah.
And but that was Toby Keith. So
That's the way he was. Yeah.
So Toby, the little town there in Oklahoma he's from. So his wife's going to get her nails done one day, and she's at the nail shop, realizes she's left. She realized, oh, I forgot my phone or whatever. She goes back in. Well, they don't know she's walked in. And one of them was like, she seems really nice. And another one of the ladies was like, she's nothing but white trash with money. And when Toby found out, he named his next album White Trash with Money. He bought the nail salon, by the way, and fired everybody.
Oh my goodness.
The other thing is he and his buddies had a standing date at their country club, play golf. And as you can imagine, there was probably a great deal of adult beverages being consumed.
Beer
And
for my horses.
yeah. And so they would,
Forgot about that one.
yeah, they would have bets, whoever hits the ball the shortest on this, you got to take your shirt off or
Pull your
whatever.
pants down or whatever.
Yeah. And so the pro at the country club comes out and says, gentlemen, y'all are going to have to leave. You can't play here taking your shirts off on the golf course. Toby Keith said, watch this. He bought the country club, and then he started hosting a tournament every year where the men could not wear shirts.
Shirtless. He's that guy, wasn't he?
He is that guy. He was that guy.
Yeah.
And people say, well, money will change you. It changed Toby because instead of just getting mad and punching somebody in the
got even.
mouth, he just buy the place up.
How much you want for this?
Yeah.
So, he liked to watch the ponies run too.
Yes.
And a few times that I was at Hot Springs, and he was there in the room, and everybody just left him alone.
Yeah.
All those people, I guess, knew that. Well, a lot of times stars, they're not being hi-hatting you or anything. They just don't make eye contact, so people will leave them alone.
Leave him alone, right.
And that's how he was. He just wanted to come watch the ponies run.
It was, I don't remember what year it was I met Toby the first time, but he still had a mullet.
Oh, yeah?
But he was already a star. I mean, he had the number one song of the year, 1993, with Should Have Been a Cowboy, and it was after that, because our radio station went on the air in 94.
Yeah.
No, it was 93. But anyway, it was after he had the number one song for the year. So he was a star already, but very down to earth, very laid back and easygoing. And I think sometimes it depended on the radio station. So, you know, he didn't walk into an opulent studio and it was, you know, all glass and beautiful. You know, I mean, our stuff was put together with Balin wire and like East German surplus equipment. I mean, it was not, it was nothing lavish. Neil McCoy was the same way, man. Of course, Neil McCoy's like that. He was just very down to earth, and you're probably too young to know who Neil McCoy is.
I know Neil McCoy.
Oh, okay, good. Very down to earth and just easy going, you know. My wife was at an event last year and she texted me and said, "Hey, you want me to FaceTime you with Neil McCoy?" I'm like, "Sure." You know, so, I told him, I said, "The first time I ever interviewed you, Neil," I said, "you pulled up in a limo." And I was like, "Sorry, you're not Neil McCoy. Neil McCoy drives a Chevy truck." And he was like, "I do remember that." I said, "You made him show me the contract. He had it in his contract to give him a Chevy truck to use while he was in town, and they didn't have one. So they put him in a limo." And I called him out on it. And he's like, "I do remember that." And he's like, "I do remember you calling me out on that." And then Joe Nichols, when Joe Nichols was here in town last, we were talking to him and I was like, "Joe, I interviewed you. You were 19 years old and you were going to be playing that night at Rock and Rodeo or whatever it was called there in Bossier." And I said, "I asked you, hang on a minute." Because that place, they were like vehemently strict about the age limit. You know, Louisiana had just changed from 18 to 21 and they were big on the age limit. I'm like, how are you going to play Rock and Rodeo when you're 19 years old? He said, "You know, I take my own equipment in and then I just hide in the bathroom until it's time for me to come out." And I told him that and he's like, "Man, I do remember." He said, "That's what I would do." He said, "Lots of places I would do that. I would just hide in the bathroom until it was time for me to go on stage."
Wow.
You know, those guys, but you know, of course, Kix Brooks, Ronnie Dunn, those guys had every reason in the world to hi-hat people and they didn't, you know.
Kix Brooks, and I may have told you this before, but he was at Tech the same time I was there.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had two different choirs. We had a university choir and then you know, mostly people in a music department choir. It was a lot smaller. And I never knew him. And, you know, over the years I've talked to people, said, "Yeah, Kix said you knew him. He would be." I said, "Never knew him."
Yeah.
Never. He was just an assuming regular guy. And, you know, after I started seeing him when they got popular, I said, "Well, yeah, I remember that guy," but I just we weren't friends or anything.
You know, when he took over what used to be Bob Kingsley's Country Countdown, you know, and then he kind of took it over. I had sent an email to the studios and said, "Hey, can you have him record us some liners?" Just those things that you would hear when, for example, it'd be like, "Hey, this is Kix Brooks, and you're listening to the Top 40 Countdown on Kix 103 or whatever," you know. And so they said, "Yeah, we'll have him do it." And so I sent in everything I needed him to record, and he said, "Kix 103, El Dorado?" He was like, he had it down. He's like, "Man, I know these people."
Yeah.
You know, so,
Well, Ronnie Dunn lived here.
Yeah. And,
at one time.
you know, so you know their song Red Dirt Road?
Red Dirt Road is about.
So we asked Ronnie Dunn about that, and he said it's a dirt road in Smackover.
Yeah.
And that he wrote that song about. And I think that's just so cool, you know, that you got that local connection. And, you know, we go way back in something that would be like your parents' era, right? But Lefty Frizzell, he worked at KELD. And of course, David Frizzell was born in El Dorado, Arkansas.
Okay.
And you're the reason God made Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So,
hey, have you heard? There's a young man out that's got a new song that's gone viral, and I heard it on Kix this morning. Have you heard this song, "Drinking Water at Your Wedding Girl"? All right. This young artist, I watched a video of him talking about how he wrote this song. And he said it was just a song that he kept to himself for a long time because of the nature of it, that he just played it for himself. You know, it was just kind of a lament song that he did for his own purpose, for his own self, whatever. And then he played it for his daddy one time. And his daddy said, "You're going to get some cease and desist orders from this song." So the song starts out, he says, "Your family and my family were friends, so I'm at your wedding and I'm sitting here." And he says, "You finally found your boy from Ole Miss, and y'all, when you toasted, you know, when they toasted the bride and groom with champagne, said, I saw you poured it in a vase, said, you're drinking water at your wedding girl." He said, and it didn't go unnoticed by him. He said, because 2 months ago you came by my house, and he says, I think that's the reason why you're drinking water at your wedding, girl. Oh,
Who's it by?
I can't remember. It's got a. I should have looked that up before. Look it up.
Yeah.
Drinking water at your wedding, girl. But I guess there's been enough time that have gone past since then to where he can. So he said his label wouldn't play it. Mm-hmm. So he just put it on TikTok.
Graylin James.
Graylin. I knew it was an odd name.
Graylin James. Water at a wedding.
Yeah.
I'll have to listen to that.
Yeah. And so when it's one of those songs that goes along and then you realize what he's actually saying on the third verse. And so I'm going, oh, that's kind of, pretty personal song.
Again, he and her definitely know who it's about.
Yeah,
That's
but
right.
I mean, if it's true, I don't know if he made that up, but when his daddy says, you may get some cease and desist orders over this song. And so I said, well, that's because I watched the interview that he did on TikTok with somebody, and they were talking about, said they wouldn't play it. He said, so I just put it out on TikTok and it went crazy.
Wow.
It went viral on TikTok.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we will come back with more of Off the Back Porch right after this.
Experience, courage, common sense. All of these are traits we want in any elected position, but especially in the man we will pick as our next sheriff. Michael Fife hasn't just been in law enforcement for 30 plus years. He's the one who answers the call in the middle of the night, putting himself last and Union County first, looking folks in the eye, doing what's right, standing up for all of us. Vote for Michael Fife for Union County Sheriff.
For longer than most of us can remember, Timber Lane Meat Market has been a staple of our community, where quality meats and friendly faces come standard. From everyday dinners to weekend cookouts, make it fresh, make it local, make it Timber Lane. Be sure to check out the daily lunch specials and like us on Facebook. Timber Lane Meat Market, 1336 West Hillsboro and El Dorado. Proud to be part of South Arkansas, and even more proud to be displayed on your table.
When the long weeks, paychecks are cashed, where we gonna spend it, buddy? You ain't gotta ask. When the neon lights are kicking on, all of us are headed to a home away from home. We don't look like much, but we're pretty damn smart for some good old boys that can't pass the bar.
Ready?
So, let's do this.
Oh, okay. I got you.
No.
Sorry.
Noodles! Híjole, that was intense.
Agreed.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer. And not only are we off the back porch,
Yes.
but we are on the big couch.
The big couch.
That's right.
Yep.
And hey, by the way, a huge shout out to our friends at Barefoot Bistro. They're the official Feed the Boomer establishment for the podcast.
Is that what we call it in now?
Feed the Boomer. Yeah.
See, I came up with a great name, but it was kind of long, wasn't it?
It was a little long.
Yeah.
And so we've got Barefoot Bistro.
What is it? What
They
is
have
it?
some new menu items for the summer too.
They do. And so, for example, today we got a turkey bacon wrap with some sweet potato waffle fries. Very
Ooh.
good. And then we've got a grilled chicken wrap with some, I don't know what they look like, little baby steak fries, except I don't like steak fries because it's too much potato, but this is like the right amount of potato.
Okay.
And so
Right over
JW
there?
put a picture up.
Right over there? Is that them right there?
Yeah, that's them right there.
Next break, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, we need to take.
Yeah, let's take another break.
Big enough.
Thank you, Johnny Dean.
Yeah, thank you, Johnny Dean.
We'll take a break right now.
Hey, when I say this person's name, you're going to know who I'm talking about. Lamont Fitz.
Yeah, Lamont used to
work for us
and play football at Washington.
at OBU. Yeah.
From California. Though.
Yeah, from California.
Great guy.
Yeah, absolutely great guy.
Great guy.
And I met Lamont. He was working at my Arkadelphia radio stations for free. that was his. He was getting a degree in communication, mass comm, and he had to put in so many hours. So he was working for me for free. At night, he was manning a desk at a hotel in Hot Springs, playing football for OBU and going to school all day.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know when he slept, but and then after he graduated, of course, we brought him on board, and he was with us for a while, and then he eventually moved back to California, and that's where he's at now.
Yeah.
And so I'm having.
Didn't his family have? I'm sorry for interrupting. His family had a restaurant.
Yeah, they own a soul food restaurant in Orange Beach.
Yeah. Oh, in Florida.
No.
Orange Beach, California.
California. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay.
And
I thought they were.
He and his mom just recently got she got a kidney. You know, she'd been on dialysis for years. Yeah. And she finally got a kidney. And but I was talking to Lamont, and he says we were having a discussion about differences in people, you know, and he said, "Well, Sandy, I'm gonna be real honest with you." He said, "There's things you as white people do that we just don't do." And he said, and
Lamont.
not just black people, as in anyone else. He said, "Y'all do things that no one else does."
Really?
Yeah. And he said,
did he name some of those?
He said, "I can think of 5 off the top of my head."
Oh, no.
And I'm like, "Tell them to me."
Okay.
So here we go.
Yeah.
Number 5, white people will buy a house near wildlife and then be surprised when wildlife shows up. He said, y'all be like, "Oh, there's a bear in my driveway." No, pretty sure you're in the bear's driveway.
That's where the bears stay.
He said, y'all will post things online like another bear on the porch, knowing when that bear goes home, he's like, another white family done moved in.
That's true.
It is true. It's very true. That's what made these so funny. Number 4, he said, y'all will trust a homemade sign. He said, matter of fact, if there's words misspelled on it, the better. He said, y'all just be driving down a highway and see a hand-painted sign that says "Best Biscuits in Arkansas." Next thing you know, y'all just turn and drive down a scary dirt road. Have y'all ever seen Deliverance or Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
It's true.
And if it wasn't true, it wouldn't be funny.
Yeah.
So,
and they'll be selling fruit and all the words are misspelled.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tomatoes, maters.
Yeah. Number 3, white people will walk into any body of water without asking any questions. Lakes, streams, creeks, rivers, bayous, doesn't matter. Y'all never wonder why the water is so dark or how long it's been since somebody got ate up in that water. He said, y'all just be standing waist deep in the swamp yelling to your black friends, "Come on in." He said, "I'm just here to tell you on behalf of all of us, we ain't coming."
We ain't coming in.
Yeah. So, number 2. Now, this is not true for me, but it is for a lot of people. He said, y'all will eat food at a potluck with nary an inquiry.
Oh.
He said, like, y'all just be making a plate and no one's asking why the potato salad's blue, or what did the lady who always posts pictures of her cats on her countertop, what did she bring? Stay away from that.
Oh, that's true. At a potluck.
Yeah.
Dinner on the grounds.
He said, number 1, white people will just trust a random stranger because he might have a cool hobby. Y'all will follow an old white man to a shed on the back edge of his property because he claims he makes knives using real human bone for the handle. And he's going to make you a free knife. Excuse me, but where do you think he gets them free bones from? Y'all trust people too easily. He said, I heard one of my friends just give out his social security number to a guy on the phone one day. He said, the caller ID said possible scam. And he said,
Lord.
I'm over here. He said, I don't want to give my social security number out to anyone, and my credit score is lower than a Louisiana's area code.
The 213 or
Yeah, 318.
318. Yeah. Oh, my word.
I was like, Lamont, you know what? You need to be a guest.
Good.
We're gonna have to fly you out.
Yeah.
You got to fly him to El Dorado.
Or Zoom him. We could do a Zoom.
We can now because we actually have access to internet now.
Yeah.
We can actually Zoom people.
Yeah.
So we won't have to wait for Steve
You
Harrell
want
to
to
come
give a
back into
shout
town.
out to your internet company? You don't want to give them Okay, I don't either. Hey, by the way.
I've talked too much smack about them in the past.
In the past? Well, you know, I had this. Can I tell you about my Optimum story, the end of it?
Wait, I thought we had the end.
Thought we did too.
Oh, you're not telling me.
I'm telling you, they've charged me another month.
You have got to be kidding me. This is like 5 months in a row now.
Since February. I called them in February the first time to cancel my internet. As of last week, it just got canceled and I got a confirmation.
Finally.
So I called it one more time and I was rough. And I'm not going to talk like I talk, but I was rough because I felt like I'd exhausted all the niceness that I could. And I told her, I said, listen, I know this is not your fault, but I don't want to answer any questions. I don't want to be passed around by 5 different people. I want you to cancel my internet right now. And I'm not waiting 30 minutes on the phone for you to find my account. And so I went through this big diatribe about what I didn't want, what I wasn't going to do. And the lady was Mihad, and she was very helpful and very understanding. I said, do you have a list of all the conversations that I've had and all the requests? She goes, yes, I see the first time you called was February the 6th. I said, yes, ma'am. And I said, do you see what I asked for? She said, yes. And I said, so I've paid for 5 months at $115 a month for an internet that I didn't need because I'd already got the internet from another provider. And so she went back and they have credited me 4 months.
Look at you go.
But I was going to cancel my cable too, because I couldn't get anything canceled. So I was going to cancel it all.
Cancel it all, yeah.
So she says, now I can give you credit. They're not going to send me money.
Now I'm going to cut a check.
They won't cut you a check. I said, well, how are you going to give me credit when I don't have nothing? She says, well, we can provide you cable for $53 a month. I said, well, that's going to be a bunch of months at $400 some.
Yeah. Nice.
So anyway, that's the end of the story is Optimum finally came through, and it was all because we make fun of call centers and that are in India and we have a hard time in the South. Hey, people in Alaska have a hard time understanding us in Arkansas.
Sure,
so
I get it.
So surely we're going to have a hard time understanding each other from India. But she was very well spoken and very attuned to what she goes. I'm sorry that this has happened to you. And I said, not as sorry as me. But anyway, I gave her a great review and I kept cable. So we'll see if I get the credit now. But the email confirmation said that I will. So, here's hoping.
Yeah. Print that thing off and tack it up on the wall.
Yeah. Because we have had absolute. And I talked to a person that is with Optimum. Then I told him what happened. He went, like,
yeah, and they don't have a local office you can walk into.
SOPs. So when I traveled to Houston to see my 2 sisters, I stopped in Ruston because they have a office. So, I wait like 30 minutes in line and I talk to the guy and of course, I'm old and can't hear and he's real soft spoken. And so we go through all this and he looks it all up. He goes, well, unfortunately, we're just a retail store and I'm not going to, I said,
sounds about right.
Yeah.
I said, after I spent an hour at Ruston on a 5.5 hour trip.
That popped up on the screen. Just tell them you're a retail store and you can't do it.
Yeah.
They probably can, but that's their first line of defense.
Anyway, there's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Wow.
But we have internet here, so we could Zoom.
Yeah, we can Zoom. We could Zoom Lamont and Steve or whomever.
So is it in the budget to maybe just fly Lamont here? Can we get him to Dallas? Because it's just $79 from Dallas.
That's right.
It depends on how far out we book.
Yeah.
Because we're working on a deal right now with a client that would have JW, Jax, and me, and you flying to Santa Barbara, California. And I was just looking about how far out we would have to book to make it within budget. And basically October. We'd have to schedule it for October, which would be a great time of the year to be in Santa Barbara, California. But yeah. So we'll see what happens.
We'll talk about that off air, I guess.
Yeah.
Off air. Yeah. Off podcast.
So also, I'm trying to get us in a crawfish farm down in South Louisiana.
Now you're talking.
Go down there and just let them show us part of their operation and how they do it, and just talk to them about what they do, how it goes from rice field to crawfish pond, and then back to rice field. And
hey, that's fun to watch. I went down to Marksville, Louisiana it's Central Louisiana's hunting retriever club, and one test that we had was actually in a crawfish field. That was a converted rice field, and the boats with the little paddles were going through and checking the
Yeah, and if you ever see how the little Mexicans do that, man, they're quick. I don't know how they do it that
pick
fast.
it up and dump it,
and that boat never slows up.
No, the boat just keeps going.
They'll throw some fish heads in it, and throw it back down, and keep going. And it's like, whew, man,
Yeah.
it looks like work.
Oh, it was work. And I mean, it took them about an hour, and there was 4 of them. It was a huge field. And anyway, yeah, that's fun to watch.
Not that I haven't. I chunked watermelons for $3 an hour. So
I picked up a watermelon yesterday at Davis Farms out there, and they've got black diamonds now, and I bought one. Pretty good. And I bought just a regular one.
Sealing.
Well, I'm picking that sucker up, and it feels like 20 pounds, And I actually thought about you. I said, man, Sandy used to pick these up and chunk them up over the
top of that wagon,
over the sideboards on those wagons. It's either catch it
or get hit by it.
No, I mean either you're the catcher or the thrower.
Yeah. And neither one's better than the other. Neither one is better.
Yeah.
Because that coming up over the side of that, you can't see them when they're throwing it. So you're dropping
you're
that
just
melon.
waiting for 'em.
You're dropping that melon and looking up like a pop fly in the middle of center field, just mine.
So there's no areas in the slats.
There wasn't on ours.
One?
Yeah, there wasn't for ours.
Oh my!
And again, $3 an hour, man. I was ready to quit school. I was just going to quit school.
Go to work.
Just go to work. I was making so much money.
He was making bank.
Yeah, listen, because that was the first year no one could tell me I couldn't have a pair of Reeboks for school because I was buying
You
my
was
shoes.
going by them Reeboks.
And I
what
could
was
get,
they, $30-something, $40?
Probably $40-something dollars.
Yeah.
Who knows? And that was a lot of money. And no one could tell me I couldn't have this shirt or these pants. But it didn't take me long to figure out why Daddy said no, I couldn't have those, because when all was said and done, I had exhausted my money and I only had like 4 shirts, 2 pair of pants, and 1 pair of sneakers, and that wasn't going to be enough
for school year,
for the whole school year. Yeah. So all of a sudden, all them shirts I was wearing at the end of last year that they weren't going to be any good to use anymore, I could still wear them this year. It was okay.
72. It was $1.75 when I was 14.
Well, minimum wage was $3.35, but farm minimum wage was like $2.15.
Yeah, different.
But we got paid $3 an hour.
Because it's hard work.
It was hard work.
It's either that or baling hay and
a quarter cent a bale.
God Almighty.
25 cents a bale is what we got to bale it, stack it, haul it, unstack it in somebody's barn.
Yeah.
And you might haul it 70 miles.
Yeah.
But that didn't matter. You get 25 cents a bale.
So
and it was 3 of you splitting it.
So there's, obviously there's no hay in Morgan City.
Right.
So during the summer when I'd go over to Texas to my grandmother's house, 2 of my cousins lived with grandmother. And they said, come on, we're going to go bale hay today. And I'm like 12. I said, I'll go out there and watch everything they're doing. I said, there's nothing that I'm willing to do out here. So we'll just ride over there and help us stack them up. And that was hard.
That's
too.
hard work.
And you itchy real quick.
When I was too little to help, like 10, they'd put me in the front seat with the truck all the way in low.
Driving.
And mine was just to keep it straight between the bales. And then if we got down to
somebody would jump in and turn around.
Yeah, because it was like an old 68 Chevy. There was no power steering.
Yeah,
and we get down there to the end, and I'm
stand on it.
pulling on the steering wheel trying to get it to turn. And John or Lewis or one of my cousins would run up there real quick and jump in and turn it. Yeah.
All
right, just keep us between the bales.
So this truck that I remember had 3 on the tree.
Oh yeah.
On the column. Obviously that's old.
Yeah.
Those are like from the 60s or earlier.
Well, I had an 81 3/4 ton Chevrolet that had 3 on the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They used to make the shifter on the steering column.
Yeah, instead of down here for a standard shift, it was be on the column, and you had to kind of figure out that out the pattern.
It was in an H.
Yeah, it was in an H. But an H. The H
1,
was
2,
a Chevrolet
3 in a reverse.
Well, see, you do that in a Chevrolet though, and you're in trouble because that's reverse in the Chevrolet.
Towards you is reverse.
Towards you and up is reverse. Yeah.
All right.
And but yeah.
Anyway,
that's fun.
Yeah,
that was fun.
That was from internet all the way, Anna. That's stream of thought. All
right, let's take another break. We'll come back. We're gonna ask Anna some questions, and she has to be prepared. I didn't give her any preparation either. She got to know these answers.
So this is going to be on the test.
This is on the test. Okay. That's right. So we'll take a break. We'll be back with more of Off the Back Porch right after this.
When it comes to protecting your home or business, trust the name that's been serving South Arkansas for 3 generations: Cross Roofing and Sheet Metal. From residential roofs to large commercial projects, The experienced team at Cross delivers quality you can see and reliability you can count on. Cross Roofing and Sheet Metal, built on trust, proven by results. Call Cross Roofing today. Put a solid future over your head.
With a name you trust, you can count on us. Glen Mechanical, plumbing, heating, and air.
For over 6 decades, Glen Mechanical has been specializing in HVAC, plumbing, and all mechanical jobs. 3 generations family owned and operated since 1956. Glen Mechanical's business is based on relationships. They support and give back to the communities they work in. Contact them for all of your HVAC, plumbing, and mechanical needs. GlenMechanical.com.
Serving South Arkansas for 25 years, and all the while expanding and growing throughout the state. ProMed Ambulance is proving their motto of world-class care and hometown values. For example, their new mobile integrated healthcare communication center. This state-of-the-art facility allows communication specialists to work directly with local 911 call centers to ensure the closest medical team is always dispatched to any emergency. World-class care and hometown values. For more information and career opportunities, go to ProMedAmbulance.com.
Non-stop phone calls, registered mail, repossessions, or threats of lawsuits from creditors, and it seems like no one is willing to let you hit pause and just catch your breath. You need the help of Robert Rushing and the Rushing Law Firm. Bankruptcy is not the end. It can be a chance for a fresh start. The Rushing Law Firm goes to work for you, letting you hit that pause button and start over. Call the Rushing Law Firm today at 870-875-2940 or stop by the office at 725 Northwest Avenue in El Dorado. The Rushing Law Firm.
Hey, welcome back to the Big Couch and Off the Back Porch. Boomer, I'm you mentioned it last week. You said, well, it's different. Those chairs we sat in at Main Street, which we loved being there, by the way. And we kind of hated to go, and Donnie hated to see us go.
Well, those were eating chairs.
Those were for about a 45-minute thing, not 5 hours.
So you'd have numb booties by the time you got through.
We get ready to leave, and Boomer and I'd have to stand up and just stand there for about 10 minutes till the circulation came back in our legs. But Anna, we're so glad that you came and joined us.
Thank you.
And I messaged her the other day and said, hey, I'm really excited about your business. And I said, I want to talk about it on the podcast and want you to come in. And she was like, sure, I'll bring y'all's ratings up. I don't care about my reputation whatsoever. So thank you for not caring about your reputation enough to come on here with us. And but before we get to your business, I thought I'd have some questions for you.
Okay.
All right. Okay. What was your favorite cereal when you were a kid?
So truthfully, I'm not a big cereal eater.
Okay.
I was allergic to milk. I'm allergic to milk.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
I never
Pop-Tarts?
I did like Pop-Tarts, but if I did like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
That's a good one. How about you, Boomer? What was your favorite growing up?
Frosted Mini Wheats.
I love Frosted Mini Wheats. Yeah.
Now, as a little kid, it'd be like Trix or Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
But
so when I was little, I fell in love with Boo Berry. Do you remember Boo Berry?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there was Count Chocula and Frankenberry, and then Boo Berry. But for whatever reason, General Mills quit making Boo Berry for like the rest of my life. It's like, oh, Sandy likes it, let's quit making that.
Yeah.
And so it became Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
The problem now is if I eat Lucky Charms today, I will still be burping Lucky Charms by this time next week.
Really?
Yeah, it's
some
brutal.
have the colors in there.
I don't know. Yeah. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. hadn't got to that yet. He
needs to. Yeah.
So, what was your favorite cartoon as a kid?
So I was a youngest child, and so I really just watched. I really didn't get a chance, a voice to say what I wanted to watch.
It's like I tell my youngest one, you're the newest one here, son. You don't have any say so.
Yeah. So I just watched what my brother and sister were watching. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that kind of thing.
Yeah. How about you? What was your favorite?
Bugs Bunny.
Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry for me. My favorite Tom and Jerry episode is the one where they take the Freon lines out of the compressor of the freezer and they put water on the floor and stick the Freon lines there and make an ice skating rink. That's my favorite one.
That was in a movie.
And then my second favorite one was where Tom was trying to build a better mousetrap, and he was using, that they use that blue paper with the white ink back in the day. And so that's what he was using. And the mouse that he drew on there woke up when Tom went to bed and was looking at the measurements and all, and he erases erases some measurements and changes them.
It makes it big.
And so then when Tom builds the mouse trap and the anvil's going to fall on the mouse and kill it, right, and it falls right and hits Tom.
Yeah.
Wholesome entertainment.
Stuff.
While he had a cigarette, and the mouse had a blindfold and a cigarette. Wholesome entertainment.
We talked about all those last week about all the inconsistencies that you can't have in cartoons.
The cross-dressing rabbit.
The cross-dressing
everyone
rabbit.
with a speech impediment.
Everyone had a speech impediment.
Yeah. So,
Porky Pig was big and had had problems with it and self-esteem
issues. Yeah. What was your favorite school lunch as a kid?
I went to Yoakum Elementary, and they're known for their taco salad and their cinnamon roll combination. So, yeah.
Taco salad. My kids, they used to just go ecstatic, and they're like, Dad, what's for lunch today? Turkey noodle soup. Yes, turkey noodle soup. So evidently the turkey noodle soup was really good at Yoakum. I don't know.
Wow.
I never liked soup day at school. That was like my least favorite day.
They made a pig in a blanket where I went to elementary school, but it was a whole hot dog,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like the blanket was like a hot dog size. Oh, and it was good. They put mustard in the middle of it, and
well, being that I grew up in Texas, it's not going to come as any surprise. My favorite was school burrito day.
Yeah.
And it was more of a chimichanga because it was fried.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was my favorite. Second, obviously, was always going to be pizza day because you just couldn't beat those square school pizzas. No. And that's, there was a neighborhood market that had opened over here on East Hillsboro, and it was only open for a very short time.
It was a very short time.
And, I went in there one day and they had these white, just clear bags. They had no label on them whatsoever. And it's just handwritten on there. It said Wendy's style chicken nuggets. Mm-hmm. And then they had some, it was like McDonald's style chicken nuggets. Well, I got those and brought them home. Those weren't Wendy's style. Those were Wendy's. Those fell off of a truck somewhere. You hear me? those come up missing on somebody's inventory sheet. And the McDonald's one, same thing. Those were straight up chicken nuggets. Those
were intercepted. Intercepted
and
deliveries.
But they had old school pizzas, and that was the square ones, and I got those and took them home, and my kids were like, what is that? And I'm like,
square pizzas.
I was like, it's old school lunch pizzas. And they're like, what? Mm-hmm. And I made them, and they're like, I see now why you liked them so much, Dad.
I don't know why we didn't have pizzas when I was in school. We'd have those green peas. God Almighty!
Bet y'all had a lot of fish too, didn't you?
Yeah, we'd have fish on Fridays.
That's what I was going to say. Where I was pretty heavy Catholic, and so Fridays was always fish day.
Fish. My dad said he was raised Catholic too, and he said, that finally they absolved everybody from eating meat on Fridays. He said, well, what about all them poor souls in purgatory because they ate meat on Fridays? What are we going to do about them?
Did your family have a family pizza night when you were a kid? And if so, where was it from?
I don't think that we did have a family pizza night when we were kids.
We didn't have a regular one, but when we had pizza, it was Shakey's.
Oh, yeah.
Shakey's Pizza. That was there in Houston. And
Shakey's is no more, isn't it?
I would assume not.
I haven't seen them in.
I've never heard of
when
that.
my mom and dad went on one of their first dates, that's where they went, was to Shakey's Pizza. What candy was a luxury snack when you were a kid?
What candy? I don't know.
We went through phases about what we wanted. I'm almost always going to want something fruity and chewy. That's going to be my choice.
Juju beans, or
whatever. Mike and Ike's.
Mike and Ike's.
I'm almost always going to want fruity and chewy. But now I do love a Millionaire. The Millionaire candies. I was never big. I never wanted Hershey because it was just chocolate. I'm not a big chocolate eater anyway. But I do love a Snickers. But at my house, if we get Snickers or a Twix, I put them in the freezer. Mm-hmm. And my wife was like, why are you putting them in the freezer? And one of the kids asked me one day, Daddy, why do you put them in the freezer? I said, they'll turn to poison if you don't. They're like, what? And I said, yeah, they either got to go in the freezer or at the very least the refrigerator because they will flat out turn to poison. And so now the kids are like, can I have a candy out of the refrigerator?
That is so mean.
Well, my thing is I like for a Snickers or whatever, if they're frozen, it's just.
Yeah, it's a little harder.
Yeah, I like that. But for me, my luxury one was I had begged and begged and begged. They had these rocket shaped, cone shaped they called them Rocket Pops. It was just a sucker.
Yeah.
And it was like 3 or 4 different colors, you know. And I remember begging and begging and begging for one of those. Finally, Daddy got me one. And it was like, oh, man, I can't wait. And it really wasn't that good. But
the Coke and the little chewy
I
wax
loved
thing.
those.
That was kind of the.
I loved those.
If you was good, you could get, and they would come in a little pack of them.
Yeah, like 4 of them or whatever.
Yeah.
I did always think that Big League Chew bubble gum was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
But when I was 8 years old and playing baseball, I had Real Chew. So
Yeah.
it was like Real Chewing tobacco.
With bubble gum around it.
No, I didn't do that. I knew people who did, but I never did that.
Yeah.
No, that'll interfere with my buzz, man. I just
At Copenhagen Buzz.
yeah. I'm Buddy Sanford's kid. What TV show owned your childhood as a kid? For me, it was real easy. It was Dukes of Hazzard. That was must see. You know, that was appointment TV. That was must see TV.
We did every Saturday night watch Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Dr. Quinn.
I'd forgotten about that show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just knew she was going to say every Saturday night we watched wrestling.
Wrestling, yeah.
No.
That was the other one.
Plan.
That was the other one was Mid-South Wrestling. That
Yeah.
became the, you know, for me when I was about 10.
Junkyard Dog and those guys.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Ours was, mine was the Sunday night stuff. It was Bonanza and Daniel Boone and ABC. You know, they would do, Disney would do something.
You went to a good church if y'all were able to get home in time to watch any of
Well,
those.
you know, that was it. And that's why I still don't like Sunday nights at church, because I had to miss Daniel Boone or Bonanza most of the time.
Miss your shows.
My whole thing was we'd be in church when I was a little kid, and you know, if somebody let out a "Whoa, glory," I'm like, well, there went that.
There went that. We'll be here another hour and a half.
I ain't gonna get to see Daniel Boone tonight.
That's what you get
Mutual
for going.
Mutual of Omaha.
Yeah, walking. Yeah. And so, and then our church wouldn't start till 7 sometimes. They were at 7 or 7:30 is when they started when I was a kid.
Why?
Because we would not get home till 9 o'clock on Sunday nights.
We started at 6 and
I
we
was
didn't get
so
home till after
mistreated
9.
as
Right.
a child. I had to go to church.
I had to go to church till 9 p.m.
Raised me right. My parents raised me right and take me to church.
What was the ultimate flex at school when you were a kid? What was something you could take to school with you and it was like,
Oh.
for me, it was those pens with the 4 colors in them.
Yeah.
You know, the red, the green, blue, and the black. Mm-hmm. If you had one of those, you were one of the cool kids.
I don't know.
And cinnamon toothpicks. If you brought a pack of cinnamon toothpicks,
You was hot shot.
that was it.
that was it. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what was cool at my junior high, or 6th and 7th grade, was if you were a patrol guy, you got the crosswalk patrol.
Yeah.
And you got a jacket.
Okay.
So
So
I
you
had
were
a jacket.
you were
like
school
You had a
narc.
patrol jacket.
like a letter jacket.
You were the school narc.
The narc. I
Yeah.
just said, hold up the traffic. Y'all get to go. That
Yeah,
ain't
but
narc.
you thought you had authauthority. You were one of those guys.
Yeah.
We used to
Yeah.
beat y'all up.
No, you did.
Yeah, we did.
No, you didn't. Not in my school, you did. Because all the cool guys got to get on it. Even me. Even though I
The
wasn't-
coolest guy.
No. Even though I wasn't cool.
What was a toy you begged for as a kid you finally got?
I don't remember.
Do you have one, Boomer?
Slot cars. I wanted the
I
little
love
race
slot
cars.
cars,
And,
yeah. Mine was an Atari 2600.
Yeah.
I asked for it for years and years, and finally, when I was 11, I got an Atari 2600.
That
My
was-
favorite game was Pitfall.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Yeah, Pitfall Harry. Had to jump over alligators and swing across vines, and
And you like leapfrog thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a toy that I wanted at Walmart one time. We had gone like as a family, which was a rare occasion. And I said, I need that toy. And I was very corrected that a toy was not a need. So I didn't get it. But I can't remember what it was.
yeah, growing up in that Reynolds house.
Yeah, I know.
You don't need no toys.
That's right.
We got a train he's running down here. Get down here.
Learn how to do this.
Yeah. What was the first album, cassette, or CD you ever purchased with your own money, Boomer? And don't you dare say the Carpenters the way we
No,
were.
it wasn't. It was long before the Carpenters. It was like,
Perry Como.
no, it was Rubber Soul Beatles album, one of their early albums. before the White Album, before Sgt.
Yeah.
Pepper's, and Rubber Soul. I'm looking through you. It was
Nice.
one song off there.
Yeah. How about you?
I think the first one that I ever purchased with my own money, I think was a Rascal Flatts CD, actually.
Wow. 1984. I bought the cassette tape, Van Halen, 1984. It was the one with Jump and Hot for
Jump,
Teacher
yeah.
and Panama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good album.
It was a good album. And then I think shortly after that, I probably just got turned on to Hank Williams Jr., and then it was all Hank Jr. after that.
So I had a cousin that lived in McAllen, Texas. That was a little bit older than I was, and we went down there.
English was a second language.
No, they were white, where English is a second language.
Yes.
You're right. And he had a 1967 GTO with Hertz transmission, 4 on the floor, and had a quadraphonic stereo in there. And there's this one song that starts out 1, 2, 3, 4,
And it hits
and
all
it hit
four
each
chords.
speaker.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Good love, da, 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 da,
Yeah.
da, da, and it starts out 1, 2, 3, 4, and he was so proud, and I was so impressed. Like 69, I must have been 12 or 13, and 13, and I was like, God, this is the coolest guy I've ever met.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because he
100%.
go, and then, he could make it spin, and we were riding around McAllen, and
We've all had those older cousins,
I was with the big kids.
Yeah. We've all had those older
We were
cousins.
smoking and drinking. No, we weren't smoking.
We were.
We were.
We were.
No, we weren't.
Yeah.
Yes, we were.
We were probably smoking stuff that'd get us into jail, but so let's see. What's something that kids today will never experience?
Being bored.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. Yes.
There were, and I catch myself all the time that I get bored surfing with my phone.
Yeah.
I get impatient because it's not happening fast enough. But I remember as a child, we lived 2 blocks away from the Catholic school, high school, and they had a football field and all that. And we would go over there and play. And then, in the middle of the day, we'd just lay there and watch the birds go over, or there'd be days where there's nothing to do in the middle of the day or whenever. And your mama would say, well, just go find something to do. Mm-hmm. And you say, I'm bored. She says, well, I'll give you something to do. If you said you were bored.
Yeah, and that was never something you wanted.
You didn't want to say that to your parents because they, you'd be digging up weeds or cleaning the driveway or something anyway.
Right.
So, but I just don't think kids today have enough idle time. We've really, and it's happening in my family with my grandkids, and I think that's it. They don't know how to just invent things to do.
I mean, we went out in the woods and we built clubhouses.
Yeah, that was a big thing when I was little. We were clubhouse building.
We would also always build like traps.
We called them forts. Yeah, you build traps.
Yeah,
you dig hole and
dig a hole,
put stuff over
the top of it, or
so the other kids that couldn't, you'd trap them if they tried to come to your fort.
Yeah,
and I remember one time we took a pine sapling and we bent it back, and then we put some little spikes and stuff in it.
You're gonna whap somebody.
One of my cousins went back and took it all down. He was like, "Man, I couldn't sleep." He said, "I was just thinking about it." And
somebody get hit in the face.
He's like, "It hit your grandma or my grandma," and he said, "I just couldn't do it."
That's funny.
The thing that I say is the one thing kids today never have to experience is waiting for a TV show.
Yeah.
Because
Next
I still
week.
have small kids at home and they just do not understand. Well, Dad, can we not just watch Bluey? And I'm like, Bluey's not on. So we're at a hotel and they're like, can we just watch Bluey? And I'm like, no. Why not? Because Bluey's not on. We'll find it. No, son, you don't understand.
It's not broadcasting
It's
right
not
now.
on right now. I know, Dad. I can see it's not on. But can you find it? I'm like, no.
No comprende.
And they just so far beyond their thought process, like, wait. And then when I explained to them, like when I was a kid, you had to wait a whole week.
For
to
the
find
next
out
episode.
if Bo and Luke really got away from Roscoe.
Yeah.
It did. Who crashed in the pond there and the
Yeah.
car was sinking, you know. We had to wait like half a year to find out who shot JR.
Yeah, until the next season. Yeah.
Yeah, they just
There's a
don't.
lot of things have changed.
They just
Yeah.
don't.
And not for the better,
That
I'd say.
concept, I mean, as funny as it is to us,
Mm-hmm.
it is a total foreign concept to them.
You know, one thing that has happened, and it was because of the, COVID, is that the social aspects of life that kids were so isolated and from school and at a very, time in their life when they're developing social skills. And I read this week where the Gen Z is having trouble. They want to find jobs where they work remotely. And they're not, corporations aren't necessarily hiring those or that group because they're not experienced and they need to train them. And there's a big opening for 9 to 5, 5 days a week for Gen Zs that they don't want.
Yeah, because it's actually in an office.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, they don't have those social skills.
Social skills.
And like I said, I've got an 18-year-old at home, and I'm just telling you, she and her boyfriend can be sitting next to each other
and not talking
and have an entire conversation via Snapchat, as opposed to just talking.
And I have a daughter that you can call her and she won't answer, but you can, and I've done it. I'll text right back and she'll
Answer
answer
immediately.
You. She just doesn't want to talk to you.
Don't want to talk on the phone.
No, because you may catch some emotion.
Yeah. Well, hey, I felt very blessed last night. My lawyer called me.
Yeah.
And it's the first time she's called me, and I don't know.
Since then?
Forever.
Since you were in Tulsa once you graduated?
No, she didn't call me then. Probably
after that.
Probably since her first year of law school.
Shush.
It's been a couple of years since she's called me. Now I'll call her.
I got you. So,
but most of the time it would be a text.
Mm-hmm.
And but she called me last night, and we talked forever. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
And I need her to do that more often.
So I'm having an envie to my.
Hold on. His inner Cajun just kicked in right there. He got an envie. That means a hankering. Cajun word of the week. Envie.
So Amanda and I went for a couple of years where we just didn't communicate, and we started communicating in Thanksgiving, and I just it's been like a week or so since we've talked, and they're planning on moving back to Northwest Arkansas, by the way. And
I called that.
You called that. You did say that. And so, I'm just like, okay, it's like having a girlfriend that says, I need some space. So, has it been long enough before I can
Have I
call
given
her?
you enough space yet?
Is there enough space yet? And you see her online. She's the happiest I've ever been with the new friends. And anyway, so I've been wanting to call Amanda, and I'm just trying to hold off. I don't want to,
Yeah.
be the overbearing dad. But.
Well, in mine, she's studying for the bar exam right now.
So
and
you
so
need to leave
I'm not calling her for anything.
Yeah.
There have to be like a death in the close family before I'd even consider calling her. Because again, she's studying for the bar, and so
that's intense.
It is. It is intense. And she was telling me yesterday about, she's been taking these practice exams for the bar. And she said, Dad, she told me the question. She scored a 35 out of 40 on this. And
Practical.
it was just one question, but it gives you the case scenario and the case law, and you have to make an argument based on that. And so she said she did. And she said it scored a 35 out of 40. She said, mind you, a 24 is passing.
Oh,
so she felt like she knocked that one out of the park, and so I'm happy, man. I'm tickled to death for her. And, bless her heart, she's going to take the bar on her 32nd birthday. That's when she's taking the bar exam. And, she's going to do great. She's always been good at test taking anyway.
Is she?
And, she of course she knocked the ACTs out of the park and all that when she was in high school. So,
she was in the 30s, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And
I hate those people.
yeah, she, the only time she's never done well on a test that I know of was the first time she took the LSATs. And, she was a senior in college, and I told someone, I said, yeah, it's because she's more interested in beer boys and weed, than it was in studying for the LSATs. But then when she took them this last time, she scored like a 168 and 180 is perfect. So she knocked it out of the park again. But anyway, I'm excited for her, and, fingers crossed. And she's, I I'm on her lease for her apartment. And she asked me, she said, hey, we've got to sign the renewal for my lease. So can you print that off and sign it and send it back? I was like, yeah, I can do that. And she said, but this will be the last one because I'm not staying here after this year.
At that place.
Yeah, at this place. And she was telling me yesterday about looking at houses and, you know, it is. And, you know, she was like, so, well, you saw her last time she was here. Well, last time you saw her around Christmas, you know, she's thin as a rail, man.
Yeah,
she's been working out and, so she's been doing like 7.5 miles a day.
Oh my gosh.
She's walking the Riverwalk there in Tulsa. Yeah, all at once.
On purpose, you mean?
Yeah. She wasn't broke down, didn't have a flat. I mean, you know,
nothing, nobody was chasing her.
Right. 7.5 miles a day going around the Riverwalk there at Tulsa. And so when she's telling about the house, she said, and it's close to the Riverwalk. And I was like, here we go.
Tulsa's so pretty.
I could live in Tulsa easily.
Yeah. I was up in Searcy this past weekend. Searcy's a neat town.
Yeah. Is it still dry?
I don't know. I saw beer in some convenience stores.
Okay.
So, you know, if you don't want to say it, let me ask you, what did you make on your ACT?
I never took an ACT.
Didn't?
I didn't go to college.
Well, you know, most high school seniors still take it anyway. Anyway, you'd have made high. I know you because you pretty intelligent from my standards. I made like on some portions of it, I made a 27, and on science, I made a 32 or something like that. But on math, I made an 18. So my composite was 24. I'm going, oh my God, I can't get in anywhere. Well, Nichols took me.
So Micah scored like a 33.
Yeah.
And so when I said something to her one day, because this is how I positively reinforce my children. I said, you know, had you been a son like I wanted,
you'd have probably made a 34.
You'd made a 34. And she looked me dead in the eye and she said, you have two sons right in that other room. And if the two of them combine to make a 34, you ought to thank your lucky stars.
Hey, I have a buddy that has 4 granddaughters, 6 grandchildren altogether, I think, how many they are. And I'm talking to the oldest one who's a physician's assistant. Is that what you call them?
Yeah.
Not a doctor, but almost a doctor?
Yeah.
And she says, well, you know, I'm the best grandchild. And I said, oh, you got a pretty high opinion of yourself. She goes, have you seen those other kids?
You seen them? I mean,
have you been around those? Have you been around my cousins? Anyway, I said, okay.
Yeah, she told me that when I only had 3 kids, and now with 6, it's even better, you know. So because she'll be like, she'll look at that little one and be like, And I said, hey, just know this: if something happens to me and Mom at the same time, you get him.
You get him. And that's the one that says, well, just find Bluey. Just
find it. What do you mean? Just find Bluey. Bruh.
He called his daddy bruh.
He's like,
hey,
6,
bruh.
7, 6. So a while ago when you said 6th or 7th grade, immediately in my mind,
6,
I thought
7.
about.
You did the 6, 7.
Yeah. Because the other day we're going down the highway and he was going to the Boy Scout. He's going to join up in Cub Scouts, right? And so we're going down the road and he's like, I like this highway. And we're going down Junction City Highway. And I'm like, yeah, why is that? And he said, points to the signs we go past. He said, 6, 7. Because it's 167.
167.
I'm like, dude, I said, you do realize that that's like so kindergarten of you.
Yeah.
Because now he's going to first grade.
Yeah.
You know?
He said, so you tell him kindergarten.
Yeah, that's kindergarten stuff.
So Jackson, who's pushing 17 now, he was still in a, you know, not a little car seat, but a big boy car seat. And I'm riding him around in my truck. He said, this is not the right way. I said, so what's the directions that we should follow? And he started telling me, and I followed him. And he got me, I don't remember where we were going, to his house or wherever. And he was little. So Jackson has an amazing sense of direction.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people don't have that. I mean, you say, well, just go south, and they'll go, let's see, the sun comes up where? I don't know.
Left or right?
Yeah,
That's what
I don't know. I don't know where the sun comes up.
My problem is when I talk to Boomer about something, he said, "Well, you know where such and such used to be." I said, "No, I don't. I have no idea." What? Well, you remember Lipsy's? I was, yeah, okay. But go past where Lipsy's was, and there used to be a such and such. That still don't tell me where it's at, Boomer. Let's see, a couple more questions here. What is your favorite flavor of Pop-Tart?
Strawberry.
The cinnamon one.
I knew that. I knew when I wrote that question down, I
Mm-hmm.
said Boomer's going to be the cinnamon, brown sugar cinnamon.
Brown sugar cinnamon.
Blueberry. Frosted blueberry is mine, definitely. And then what is one hit wonder that you still love today? For me, it's very easy. Come On, Eileen by Dexy's Midnight Runner.
I'm trying to remember a one hit wonder that.
Flock of Seagulls, I Ran.
No.
You know, I was watching an interview with them, and that guy hates the song.
Yeah,
the lead singer from
because
he's like, I'm sick of that song
because it was a stray from their regular stuff.
It was their whole genre. I mean, it was just, yeah.
I can't remember the songs.
Yeah,
that has a one hit wonder that I'm just stuck on.
Yeah, again, Dexy's Midnight Runner, Come On, Eileen, which is funny because I didn't really care for it in the 80s, but since
Dobie
then...
Gray, what did Dobie Gray sing?
Drift Away?
No, it's Give Me a Beat, boy, to free my
Drift
soul.
Away?
Drift Away.
That's Drift Away.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
You see how... Let me just explain to our audience.
Because I just did this.
Yeah. This is Life with Boomer. No. You're stupid. I'm talking about something else.
Well, it didn't register. I'm stupid. I didn't remember the name of the song.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll have some questions for Ann about her business.
Awesome.
And I've been watching her. She's been eyeing this place. So we liable to get up after this break. She liable to have rearranged everything. So,
For the better, huh?
for the better,
Maybe.
100%. 100%. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more of Off the Back Porch right after this.
A new shipment of Express boats is in at Country Village Sporting Goods. Or maybe your boat just needs a little TLC. We have appointments available in our service department. And of course, we keep a great selection of Catalina campers. New baits, new tackle, and the latest in gear are arriving every week. So when we say everything you need to get to the water, the woods, or the camp, you know we're talking about Country Village Sporting Goods, 965 Smackover Highway in El Dorado. Like us on Facebook.
Rated the #1 course in Arkansas by Golf Week, Mystic Creek is truly a hidden gem, complemented by a modern clubhouse, complete with panoramic views. It also features a fully stocked pro shop and Mystic Grill serving contemporary American cuisine and Southern classics. Mystic Creek promises an unforgettable experience.
Bad things happen, and of course, they never happen at the right time. Maybe it's just a little bump and cosmetic damage, or it's turned into a huge insurance claim and you just don't know where to go next. That's why so many of your neighbors and friends call on Cook's Body Shop in El Dorado. From the minor to the major, Cook's Body Shop is in your corner. Need someone to help you deal with insurance? Look to Cook's. Need advice on what to do next? Look to Cook's. Need a free estimate? Look to Cook's. Bad things are going to happen, and when they do, look to Cook's.
When it comes to your family's financial future, peace of mind matters. At Harrison Financial Management, they are right here to help you plan, grow, and protect what matters most. Whether you're planning for retirement, investing wisely, or securing your family's future, they will guide you every step of the way. Harrison Financial Management, your future, their commitment.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer here from the Big Couch. And again,
Sometimes Jax.
And sometimes Jax. We cannot forget that. That's right. So my oldest son, who's our general sales manager, he is he has the record for being the guest the most on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
And it's always when someone has a conflict.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't get top billing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But he said he wanted us to change the name of the podcast to Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer and sometimes Jax.
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah,
we
can,
did.
You know, so for every now and then we'll throw that in there. But hey, a huge shout out to our friends at Barefoot Bistro and the official Feed the Boomer sponsors of Off the Back Porch. and some great food. Man, have you had their Nashville hot wings?
I haven't, but you said they were.
Oh man,
pretty good.
They are so good.
Are they super hot?
No, not super hot. They're hot enough for me, but
so they're not mango habanero hot.
But they're a little sweet, a little hot, and just so freaking good.
I dated her, I think. Sweet little back in the day.
Yeah, the ones I dated back in the day who were hot weren't very sweet. The
So
ones who
they
were very
on the-
sweet weren't
on the
very
hot,
hot.
crazy
Yeah,
scale.
yeah.
Okay.
And then also Jackson and I the other day we split the barbecue nachos.
Good.
Homemade chips first of all,
Oh yeah.
and tons of barbecue on there.
You know, I'm a creature of habit. I hadn't been in yet. Martha has, eaten with friends, but I haven't been in there yet.
Really,
And I need to go
really
eat some
good food.
Yeah.
So that's our friends at Barefoot Bistro. So Anna, again, thank you for putting your total reputation on the line and coming here with us. Tell us a little bit, what is Sellers and Company?
So Sellers and Company is a home and lifestyle management company. And so what we do is we manage a lot of things. And some people call me the handler. It's
Okay.
handled. If you need something handled,
Okay.
call Anna and it's handled. So we have a couple clients that we do just daily, weekly things for. Appointments, errands, work in their homes, just all the things.
So breakups, will you do breakups?
No. I will not do breakups. So I always say the things that I don't do are toilets and dirty laundry.
Okay.
And that's breakups.
Yeah, true.
Because there's going to be some dirty laundry.
Some dirty laundry.
Yes. Yeah.
So like a contractor, like if I need a subcontractor, I can call you and say, I need this done at my house. Can you find me somebody?
Yes.
You do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. I can do.
That's a good service.
Yes. I do a lot of things for a lot of people. And then we also offer some home organization.
That's what impressed me.
Yeah.
The photos from the home organization.
Well, she's got a knack for that. So it's
Yes.
it's only natural that she's in that kind of business.
Yes. So I do some home organization. We've recently helped people clean out their homes. A lot of people are wanting to minimalize,
declutter.
And so we help people do that. We help people find spaces in their home that currently don't function well and they want them to function well because your home should be a place of peace, not distress. And so we do that.
Amen.
Yes. So
That's
that
because
is
you got
what we
6
do.
kids, though, Sandy.
Yeah, well, it ain't the 6 kids. It's the 2 damn raccoons that I don't like. I can handle all 6 kids because, I can scream at them and
You
send them
got 2
to the room.
raccoons?
No, I don't. The lovely Mrs. Sanford does.
And where are they housed?
Are they full-size raccoons?
Yeah, they weren't when we got them, but they are now.
They got fleas?
Mm.
Y'all
Where
got?
do they live?
They live in a cage.
Inside?
Oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
Me with 4 dogs in the house, but say no to cartoons,
Raccoons?
raccoons.
Yeah.
Welcome to my brain.
Anyway,
So if have you ever seen somebody, Sandy, that could take 4 items and arrange them and make it look better?
Mm-hmm.
That's what she does.
Yeah,
and she can do it. I'm telling you.
I can.
So you could come in and do a closet.
Absolutely.
Whoo!
I love a closet.
I mean, like
we're paying JW
like-
too much. You realize that?
Yeah,
Did you just hear
if
what he
you can
said?
afford Anna.
He just said she's coming to our place to do some work.
To do
and,
the whole house.
You know, just
So under the
We're
stairs,
obviously overpaying
I got an
him.
under the stairs catch-all thing in my house.
Yeah, I can do it.
Whoo, man! It's not so much organizing it; it's putting it back. I think's my problem.
Yeah.
I'm not a good putter backer.
well, it's because you got ADHD.
Oh, that's true. I'll lay it out and just
lay it down.
Leave it there.
We have this conversation in my house all the time. I'm like, hey, I don't know who left this here. I don't even care. But why did you put it down instead of putting it up? Because that's my biggest thing. Don't put it down, put it up.
Yeah.
And,
So then,
I'm not easy to live with, though. I get it.
So then, if someone says, it's a new purchase home, and they say, Hannah, I need you to come in and just help me. Let me give you my palette and help me just do everything. You're good at that.
I can do that.
Is that in your bailiwick? I mean, you do that as well.
It is in my wheelhouse. And I have done that for a couple of people. What I like to do is like put together some things and say like, are we tracking here? Is this what you're going for? And they're like, absolutely. We just did a bedroom upgrade. And so that was really fun. I picked out some things, hunting themed for a young man. So yeah.
Well, look, we need some help here. We're trying to make this a little more man cave-ish.
Yeah, I love it.
So we're going to end up with 3 sets here, 3 video sets.
Okay, cool.
One here,
cool.
one there, and one over there. This one, we want it to be more man cave, thus the leather,
right?
The wood panel, you know, and Pig Baby. Can't forget Pig Baby on the wall.
Pig Baby stays.
Right.
Pig Baby's famous.
Okay.
So I will say this. She walks in and the first thing she says is, what's up with the baby doll?
What's up with the baby on the wall? It didn't fit the
Doesn't fit the aesthetic.
The aesthetic.
The ambiance, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we have done garages, shops, closets, laundry rooms, toy rooms, mud rooms.
Okay.
Attics. We did an attic.
You see that look? She just
that was hot.
There's more to that story.
That was hot.
Yeah, it's not that. That's
hot.
not it.
It was hot.
That's not the rest of that story though. I can
We
just
did an
tell.
attic.
My attic is scary.
Yeah, it was hot. Becky, who I hired, lost her keys
In the attic?
In the attic.
Oh,
and
geez.
so it was she found them eventually, but it was a constant go up there and look for them. And we got one of those old magnet things and tried to find it. But yeah. So we have done just about every space, and, you know, some that needed minor help and some that needed major help.
Have you ever been in the attic at the Newton home?
I have not done that.
Don't go up there.
Okay, yeah, I don't think I will.
Let me tell you why. There's a little devil ghost girl up there.
No, I will not be doing that.
And she's riding a little cart or something.
Now
I got this, and I can see him. Don't tell me I can't see him.
Let me explain the difference between Boomer and me.
Okay.
He says the first time he ever went there, they're like, "Oh yeah, the attic's haunted," and he went up there. There's the difference. They tell me the attic's haunted. I'm never going up there.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm probably going to stay 2 floors below the attic just to be safe.
Yeah.
And
I'm kind of like that.
And then he would go stay with his daughter when she had a little girl ghost that lived in that same room that he would sleep in. And
She held me on the covers one time.
He come in one Monday morning saying, "Hey, let me tell you what happened." He said, "You know, they got that little girl ghost." I'm like, "Yeah," and he said, "Well, little girl ghost wouldn't let me out of the bed. Had me pinned under the covers." See,
and I'd go, and that's when I also had a lawn service back then, and I would drive to Minden and cut Amy's yard and my sister-in-law's yard, and I had a contract to do another guy, so I just cut theirs while I was there. Anyway, I'm riding the lawnmower in Amy's front yard, and this old house has one of those, like a little round vent all the way at the peak of the house, and they had remodeled their attic and made another room out of it, and that part of the room was not bedroom, it was just like a sitting area up there, and it was directly above the room where the little girl stayed. And so I get this hair-raising experience on my neck going up, and I looked up there at that little hole, and she was standing up there watching me. I mean, I couldn't see her. I just felt her. My mother was like that. She would get feelings about stuff, and I don't know.
that's where my inner brother kicks in.
Devil say hello, brother say goodbye.
Exactly right. Hey, I told you, the street I grew up on in Houston, I was the only white kid on that street. I learned everything. I learned how to avoid ghosts.
Yeah.
I learned how to eat the best food.
Yeah.
Listen to the best music. You know, everybody lived
Al
on this
Green.
side. Yeah, that's where I met my pastor, the Right Reverend Al Green.
Yep.
And then everybody lived on this side of me was Hispanic. So, you know, it was nothing to learn. I learned how to roll a spit with a goat on it when I was real little, and how good barbecued goat could be.
It is.
It's very good. And
I'll take your word on it.
but again, everybody on this side was black. So I learned soul food and Creole
like
food,
pork.
and I learned lots of good stuff. But English was also a second language on that street.
So y'all don't do any Ghostbuster type stuff then?
No. We can find someone though that can
There you go.
Yeah.
They subcontract.
Yes. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Play the piano, ding, 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 ding.
yeah.
They hate when you do that.
They hate it when I do that.
Yeah. But I've got to do some really neat things.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool, and I knew you'd done that, but to talk about it, I'm telling you, if you can make sense out of people's closets or a storage area like mine, there's people that will say, oh, just please do that. Handle that. I've got a buddy that when I go to his house, there's stuff everywhere, and I start straightening up. I said, why are you laying this on top of your oven, on your stovetop? I said, you're going to catch this place on fire. Oh, man, it's not on. I said, I know. Anyway.
Well, you know how we know? Because it's not on fire.
Because it's not on fire. Anyway, those kind of houses need a service like you do.
Yeah.
Just to straighten them out.
I did handle an Optimum situation.
Oh.
It was an ongoing Optimum situation from also February
Sounds
to May.
like it.
So it was not your Optimum situation, but it was an Optimum situation for a client. So just anything like that that they're like, I don't have the time to deal with this, or I would rather spend my time. We have a client that homeschools her kids, and she's like, I would rather spend my time homeschooling my kids than
talking to Optimum.
Doing these, talking to Optimum or running in town to the post office or
doing this,
doing whatever. Can you handle it? And I'm like, 100%.
Can a person contract you and say, I want to keep you on a retainer?
Yes.
And there are things that I know are going to come up month to month.
Yes. Well, there's clients that we work for weekly.
Okay.
That we check in, or I know every week that you need to
this done.
Yeah, XYZ done, and we come in and we handle it weekly. And sometimes there's a lot of things to be done. Sometimes there's a few things to be done, but we know that I'm gonna pick up groceries, or I'm gonna go to the post office, or I'm going to order supplies for your business. Yeah, prescriptions. I mean, anything like that. So
that's cool.
What a great service.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, when you think about it, I revert to this story. There was this guy that worked with Boomer and me at the radio station, big golden voice, and he was our production manager. And I come in one day, I'd been gone most of the day, and I come in and I look in the studio and he's not in there. I'm not particularly looking for him, but I just noticed he wasn't in there. And I walk past the restrooms and he's in the restroom on his hands and knees cleaning the bathroom. And I'm like, Chase, what are you doing? And he's like, bathroom need to clean it, man. And I was like, I get it. And I appreciate the fact that you don't feel like that's beneath you. I said, but you make me $0 cleaning a bathroom. You got 6 employees, man. Delegate that stuff out.
Yeah.
I need you in that studio with that great voice of yours making these commercials. And when I look at your production basket and it's stacked up this deep with commercials that need to be done, I don't need you cleaning the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I think he understood that, wait a minute, I am more valuable than just
that.
And so there are times, yes, I can stop and do that, but I'm going to stop and do that to make $50, or I could keep doing what I'm doing and make $250.
Right.
Or whatever.
And that's where she comes in. That's
exactly
the beauty
right.
of it. Yeah.
Exactly right.
But no toilets.
No toilets.
Son's your example, but no toilets.
Yeah. No toilets.
Or breakups.
Or breakups. But
or dirty laundry.
Dirty laundry,
but now there is a whole market out there for people who do breakups. It's like a real thing.
Is it really?
Yeah, they make great money doing it.
So I'm here to inform you that Ted said that
Boomer
just not working.
It is
what it is,
and it's not you. It's her.
Not you. It's her.
It's her.
I probably could do a breakup, but I have not been asked yet.
Well,
I have not had the chance to turn it.
Hey,
down,
you will now, folks. Breakups.
Sellers and Company.
Yeah.
So,
this breakup is brought to you by Sellers and Co.
I'm here to you show up like a certified mail guy.
Yeah, stand at the door with a solemn look.
Yeah.
Just ooh. We regret to inform you that as of this moment, you're single.
You're no longer a part of this relationship.
That's right. Yeah. And don't ask to be friends because it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Don't ask any questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't ask. We can't just be friends.
No, exactly.
Yeah, we're not going to be friends.
And there's no sugarcoating. Like one of my clients is always like, you're just real matter of fact about things. And I'm like, yeah, I am real matter of fact about things. And so, it's funny.
So when my wife and I were dating, we went on our first date, and I think we just had the best time, right? Bayou Bistro. I mean, RIP, but who couldn't have a good time at Bayou Bistro. And then we just rode around and talked for hours like we'd known each other our entire lives. And so, I don't know, that was a Friday night. And that Saturday, she had to work. And so she would, I'd text her and she'd text me back just a little short something. And Sunday, same kind of deal. But by Monday, if I text her, if I got an answer at all, it was one word. And I was like, okay, I get it. She didn't have as good a time as I did. So I dropped it. And like a week or two later, I'm coaching a baseball game. I'm standing in the coach's box and my phone's blowing up in my pocket. And I finally, between innings, I pull it out and it's this long list of texts from her. It's like 20 texts. And I didn't even read them all. It's just the very last one says, or have you forgotten about me? And I just texted her back and said, I hadn't forgotten about you. I said, I've done nothing but think about you, but I get it. We went on a date and I text you and I get a 1-word answer and I'd rather be your friend than nothing at all.
Yeah.
And she texted me back and said, okay, I have a full-time job and a part-time job. I'm a full-time student and a single mom. Cut me some slack.
Yeah.
And she also told me, she said, have you ever thought in your mind and you're like, oh yeah, I texted that. And I was like, yeah, I've been guilty of that. And she was like, you want to have lunch tomorrow? And I was like, I don't know. If we win this ball game, we're playing again tomorrow. If we lose, then we're coming home tonight. And she's like, well, I hope you lose.
Loser.
And we did. We lost and we came home the next day and she and I had lunch the next day at La Villa.
Okay.
And I asked her if I could kiss her and she said yes. And so I gave her a real quick kiss and I look up and there's one of my daughter's best friends standing across the street from us, standing right there inside Sports Alley. And she's like looking at me. I was like,
that's funny.
Hey.
So, back in the day before people Snapchatted or text or whatever, you'd call somebody and say, hey, you want to go get a Coke? That was kind of vernacular for we'll just go riding around.
Yeah.
And when people communicated back in the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they tell you, no, I'm washing my hair.
Yeah.
I was saying,
It's
I'm
a
washing
dead
my hair.
giveaway.
Yeah.
That's a dead giveaway.
Yeah. Every girl I ever dated, man, she must have had the cleanest hair because they were always washing their hair.
Washing their hair.
I have a client that has a lot. I'm one of those people on my phone. There is like no notifications. There's no unread messages, and
you read it
and respond. Well, I typically respond, and there's some people that have like 15,000 unread emails, and 32 unread text messages. And so this is one of the things that I do for one of my clients. She's very busy, and they always say, if I get a response from you immediately, I know that it's Anna. But if it's like 3 days later, I know that it's not you. Yeah.
I've always had a business email. And then I had one that's just my personal email. But, now that I'm retired and don't have any business emails, I got one with the insurance company, but I just get stuff from them and nobody else. So my personal email has that 15,000 from Rocket Mortgage and Poncho shirts. Yeah.
I think I looked a minute ago. I have 297 unread emails.
Yeah.
And it's like, that drives me crazy, but I don't have the time to go through them.
Yeah.
I'll go through them.
Sounds like you do have the time to go through them.
I do have the time
or she would do it. Yeah, she'll look at them for you.
Yeah.
And you can prioritize which ones you'd like to keep and
which
ones
are trash. My whole like business line is making room for things that matter to you. So,
if I could get someone to go and unsubscribe to all those.
Yeah, I could do that.
Man, listen, I did that one day. I just went through and started
unsubscribing.
Yes. I mean, do
you want to get one monthly then or bi-weekly or no?
Totally take me out. Yeah.
Well, and then now here's the one that one of the companies was really getting me with. I'm like, unsubscribe. And it was like, okay, you unsubscribe to our marketing emails, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't unsubscribe to their promotional specials email. So I had to do that one the next time.
Yeah.
And then I'm now unsubscribed from the promotional specials and the marketing emails, but I'm not unsubscribed from the weekly update and the newsletter. And they have like 17 different email accounts. And it's like, good grief.
Yeah.
And there's some of them I like to get because, they're hunting ones and then I'll unsubscribe in the off season, and I'll resubscribe, so I don't, I don't want to buy, I'm not going to buy anything in July to go duck hunting in November.
Right.
I'll buy something in January when they put it all on sale. Anyway.
End of season stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's take another break.
Okay.
We'll take a break and we'll come back with more of Off the Back Porch right after this.
For 50 years, one name has kept South Arkansas rolling strong, Smackover Motors. From brand new rides to dependable pre-owned vehicles and hard-working fleets, Smackover Motors has helped generations find the perfect fit for the road ahead. And long after the sale, their expert service department keeps you moving with trusted care, honest work, and hometown service you can count on. 50 years of keys, miles, handshakes, and community. Smackover Motors, driven by service, powered by trust since 1976.
Welcome to Davis Farms Country Market in El Dorado, Arkansas. This is more than just a place to shop. It is a place where local farms, markets, and families can share what they do best. Inside, you'll find fresh produce, locally raised beef and pork, farm fresh eggs, jams, honey, seasonings, baked goods, grilling supplies, and plenty of Arkansas-made favorites. There's also a deli serving sandwiches, salads, gumbo, and other tasty choices. So whether you are planning supper, shopping for a gift, or searching for something delicious, stop by Davis Farms Country Market. Just be careful. You may come in for one thing and leave with 17. Davis Farms Country Market.
32 years ago, a young Robert Rushing began his life of public service joining the El Dorado Fire Department. While saving lives during the day, Robert Rushing put himself through college and law school at night, eventually opening a law practice in 2010 to protect and serve the rights of people in South Arkansas. By the way, he was still working as a fireman at the time. And after 23 years of service, Robert Rushing answered the call again and was elected as city attorney. Today, Robert Rushing still has that desire to serve. Re-elect Robert Rushing as El Dorado city attorney.
Everybody loves a parade, and Hilarious Pizza throws parades all the week long. Bring the family in for your favorites, or explore the variety that Hilarious Pizza offers. Come join us at Hilarious Pizza for the greatest parade ever.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer, sometimes Jax, and now from the big couch. And just like that.
Bring it on home.
That's how Boomer did it. That's how he makes the big bucks. We doubled his pay after last week when he came up with that. So,
yeah.
And Anna Sellers.
Nothing from nothing leaves nothing.
Yes, right. Boomer, my favorite employee. You know why? Because we don't pay him. That's why. So again, welcome back, Anna Sellers from Sellers & Co. And so we were talking during the break there, and I know I misheard you, but you once were contracted to put sharks in a pond in front of someone's house.
Yes.
You gotta tell that story. How did we get this far in the podcast and not ever talk about that? That was like that time Sindel Thompson went to Mexico and got bit by a monkey, and it was 3 weeks later before she told us.
About it? Yeah. So when what got me started into this line of work is I used to be a school teacher, and I quit school teaching and had the opportunity to go and work for this family that I knew through some family of mine in Missouri. Anyways, they had a home in Las Vegas and a home in San Diego, and then a condo on the Strip in Las Vegas. So we bounced between
poor folks.
Those three homes. Yeah, really. And when they flew me out to Las Vegas, and they kind of showed me around, like, we went to their house in California, kind of give me a lay of the land. And when I drove out to Las Vegas, my first day of work, I had kind of here's what we need. You know, we're getting married in January. We need this. We're remodeling this home. We have a home on the Strip. We're remodeling our home in California, and we are making a shark pond. And here's our contact at SeaWorld for...
You said, hold up now. Shark pond.
Shark pond, yes. And so they built the pond, and it's like one of those entryway ponds that you like walk across, and then their vision was to have
Yeah, you were up during the break when she said you had to walk over the...
No. I thought it would be like at SeaWorld, like with Shamu, like there's a glass wall and I can see a shark. I'm not walking over. I'm not Fonzie. I'm not jumping a shark tank. I'm just telling y'all now. And I realize a whole lot of people don't get that reference, but I'm just not doing that. Yeah. This is another area where I'm white, but I'm not that white.
Yeah.
Ghost and sharks.
Ghost sharks
in water.
I'm okay with water.
Okay.
They don't scare me.
They've been in touch with SeaWorld?
Yes, they had contacted the shark guy I mean, at SeaWorld, I mean, that was kind of what we called them, the shark guy at
Wow.
SeaWorld. And they even had, one of those little toy doodle poodle mixes. And I was like, what if Max?
Yeah.
What if a shark
Dog's gonna go up there and get a drink, and then you're gonna be like, where did Waldo end
Where
up?
did Fufu go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of sharks were they going to get? Do you
I can't remember. They were a smaller
Doesn't matter.
Nerf maybe?
no,
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Sand.
still sharks. Yeah.
Still sharks.
Yeah. And
It's like
so-
that's a good snake.
Yeah.
What kind was it? One of them bad ones?
Well, yeah. And they were looking at, a couple of them. But
A breeding pair.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So that was kind of a cool thing, a cool project that I did. But that's
See, there's a difference between me and her. Cool
Cool
project to
project.
her. You told me you were going to get sharks that I have to walk over.
See, I'm envisioning a board walkway with big chains on it that you lift up, and they're
Like a moat.
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
but it was like a little garden pathway.
yes.
Did it
Yeah,
have
like a little
railings,
garden pathway.
railings on it.
Nuh-uh.
No.
See, there's a liability.
That's not gonna pass home
there's
inspection.
a liability lawsuit right now.
Your insurance agent evidently doesn't understand what y'all are putting in that pond.
Yes,
Just saying.
now they ask, do you have any big dogs? It says,
Nope.
No, but we got sharks. Don't tell them that. In a walkway, don't tell them that.
Yeah.
With no rails.
Yes.
Hey, I'm telling you, being in insurance, if you've got a house with 4 steps down the front, you have to have handrails.
Yeah.
Or if you have a pool in the backyard, it has to be a locked fence around it.
Yeah.
And if you have a trampoline, take it down before the guy comes over because they're not going to insure your house.
Yeah.
Or anyway. So sharks.
Once they got kind of like into it and they realized like the feeding, like we're gonna have to have like we're gonna have to feed the sharks. We're gonna have to have like like on site. They were like,
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say. Now, that's not one of those things where you can just go out there and throw
A
a chicken
koi
carcass
pond.
every day. I mean, sharks are going to have special feeding needs. You're going to have to have a marine biologist on staff to,
Yeah.
We're worried about feeding it, not putting up handrails over
Yeah,
the
exactly. Yeah. Oh, no, it's too much to feed them. We just, never mind. Yeah, we realized that you could have fallen into the piranha tank over here. So.
Yeah. But now it is like a water feature in their home.
With water moccasins or what? I mean, what do you do?
No
There's
sharks?
no sharks.
Okay,
It's
so
just
they-
water, but
they
you do
nixed
walk
the
over.
idea.
Yeah, they nixed the shark idea, but
Imagine
Obviously, it was going to have to be a saltwater tank.
that. Yeah.
yeah,
It couldn't be freshwater.
yeah,
Unless you have freshwater sharks. Got freshwater shrimp.
yeah.
I mean, saltwater shrimp. Freshwater shrimp.
Yeah, well,
Is there no freshwater sharks?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, bull sharks. Theirs are illegal. They'll come up the river.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen them over in Felsenthal. No,
No, you haven't.
no, you haven't.
They don't get through the locks.
They're broken.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they
Yeah.
didn't get the sharks.
So they didn't get the sharks, but that was like an ongoing thing for me. Like I would, post on my Instagram stories or tell my friends, they'd be like, how's the shark project coming along? And I'm like, oh, I'd give them updates while they were building it, putting the stairs in.
Did you know Anna
all
back
the
then,
things.
No.
Sandy? Well, we were.
I didn't know her till about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Surprise.
So she would be the discussion at our house. And Anna Reynolds is working out in Las Vegas and San Diego. I said, really, Martha? Because Martha,
Yeah.
I mean, if you need to know something,
She keeps up with people.
Yeah, she keeps up with people. And so we were involved in all. I said, how cool is that going to work for a family?
Well, the cool part is that she's working in Vegas and not as a dancer. That's the thing. Most people, when they say,
That's right.
well, she's working in Vegas, say, well, I thought she had a little work
she's in
done.
one of the shows.
Yeah.
No, not that kind of work in Las Vegas, but it was really fun. So
So that's kind of the forerunner for what you're doing now. You were able to,
Yes. I mean, I handled everything from sharks to weddings. I did their wedding, special events, planned vacations for them, paid their bills.
You were just the
just
home manager.
Yes, I just managed their home. Well, they're 3 homes.
Their life.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're 3 homes. Yeah,
Yeah, they're 3 homes. So two in Las Vegas and one in California. And then I was there for a year, came back to South Arkansas, and kind of started doing that for people here in El Dorado on a much smaller scale. But,
no shark tanks here.
Yeah, no shark tanks here, but
so you could do a
cottonmouths
koi.
only.
You can do a koi pond
Yeah,
easily.
I could do a koi pound easily.
Yeah.
So just kind of handling, everyday things, big things, little things.
It's funny how life takes those turns that I've often talked about how most things happen in a short period of time that helps
determines the remainder
directs your life, and that was very awe-inspiring by just going to, most people don't move to Las Vegas in California and go to work for a family. They'll say, well, I'm going to try to get on at Murphy, from somebody from El Dorado.
I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to try to become a car dealer.
Yeah.
It was a really fun time in my life and a really fun experience.
That's cool.
So,
That is way cool.
Yeah.
It is. Then, I would imagine there's also at least there, I would think there's an expectation of confidentiality.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's people that they don't want people to know that they have somebody handling that for them.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to walk in your house and be like, ooh and ah. And, they don't, because no one's ever going to say, well, welcome to her. Oh, it's so beautiful. What you have. Oh, yeah, I had nothing to do with that. I just hired the lady that did, So I'm assuming there's a level of confidentiality with your clients.
And most people that are wealthy aren't talking about their wealth.
But I'm assuming that your clients,
they're not hiding it, but they're not.
You're not just dealing with wealthy clients either, though, are you?
I mean,
then I'm
yes. But I am dealing with, anybody and everybody in El Dorado and South Arkansas, and I do not take it lightly that they entrust me to handle things for them, and sometimes it's family matters, and sometimes it's helping me clear out my closet after my husband's been passed away and I'm ready to get rid of his things. I do not take that lightly.
Sure.
And I feel very grateful that people trust me with those very details, of their lives that they need help with. Yes.
Because in an instance like that, a lot of times it's just like, I know if I go in there to do that, I'm going to hold on to too much, or either I'm going to throw out everything, and I could see that would be the kind of things that people would really need the help on. And sometimes you also need someone who's not emotionally invested.
Yes.
What I would have given for anyone to help me when my dad passed, and then I was executor of his estate, I needed somebody who was not emotionally invested.
Right.
And so I didn't have that person. So I ended up having to de-emotionalize myself to the point where I've yet to ever grieve my dad's loss.
Right.
And someone told me, "Oh, well, you will one day." I'm like, I don't know. I'm 5 years. I'm 5 years later, and I haven't yet. And it doesn't mean I don't miss him, because I miss him like crazy. But as far as actually getting the chance to grieve, I never got to, because I've told people this. My dad died with $11 in the bank. And it's so hilarious to me, because Daddy's made so much money in his life. And everyone thought there was a secret pile of money somewhere, and I was hiding it. Well,
but he did it like most people want to do. They want their money and their life to end at the same time.
And he did.
And he hit it pretty close to the mark.
Yeah. But so he had no life insurance. He had no burial policy. And so Daddy dies on a Tuesday, and Thursday. And then that Friday, I'm in the funeral home, and I'm like, need to have a funeral for my dad. And I own the property where we're going to bury him, the family cemetery. And so we didn't have to buy a plot or anything. And they were like, what about a vault? And I said, funny enough, Daddy and I had this conversation, and he said there's no need in getting him a vault. He's not going to be there, And so I said, we don't need a vault. And so I picked out a casket and went through the whole thing. And the funeral director was so nice. She said, Mr. Sanford, we certainly sympathize with your loss. And if you will just, when do you want to have the funeral? I said, next Friday. Okay. So by next Wednesday, you'll bring us $8,000 or there will be no funeral.
Real matter of fact.
And it was just that's it. And I mean, literally, Casey and I had 5 days to come up with $8,000.
Yeah.
And, it was during COVID. I mean, we emptied her savings. We emptied my savings. We sold stuff, stocks and stuff that were given to us as gifts. We sold. I mean, and literally on that Wednesday, I drove from El Dorado back down to Center, Texas with $8,300.
Wow.
And I took the $8,000 over there and paid them. And the remaining $300, I went to the I went to the flower shop, and I said, just give me a casket spray that will make the casket look better than what it is, because I don't want it to look cheap.
Yeah.
That was the only thing Daddy ever said. He said, I want you to cremate me. I said, Daddy, never going to happen. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And he said, well, then just don't make yourself look cheap. That's the biggest thing. And so I knew the people there, and they were very kind and said, we're going to give you this one. It's like a $600 casket spray. And it was $300. Well, with tax, it was like $325. And so I'm like rooting around trying to find $25 more.
Isn't that something?
And then that was a Wednesday, and Friday morning, just before the funeral, my phone rings, and I look down, and it's a phone number from there in that part of Texas. So I answer, and I'm standing in the church waiting for the family. We're going to do visitation. And this lady, she says, I was your dad's attorney for his estate and your executor. And I understand he's passed away, and I will handle the estate process. I just need you to bring me $3,500. And I'm like, dear Lord,
you gotta be kidding me. Yeah.
By next week. And so I turned around and had to go through it all again, and come up with $3,500 by next week.
Yeah.
And so by the time we got Daddy in the ground, I was 12 grand in, so.
On $11 account.
On $11 bank account. Yeah. And of course, they say,
so Anna can handle all that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. What I needed was someone who was not emotionally invested, because what happened was, I have learned since then, there's a saying that says, if you have an enemy, make them executive of your estate. That'll get them back. And that's the truth, because man, they say nothing brings out vultures like a dead body.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
That's true.
It is.
Because I had family calling me from all over that was like, because again, they all assumed Daddy had a secret stockpile of money.
Yeah.
And, but they,
Uncle Buddy.
Yeah, Uncle Buddy. But they'd call me and say, well, your daddy was going to sell me that tractor. And, I told him I'd give him $6,500 for it. I was like, I bet you would. It's an $80,000 tractor.
Yeah.
I bet you would give him $6,500 for it. And, I said, you know what? Here's the best thing. My daddy listened to me one time in my entire life and did what I asked him to do. I asked him to get a will, and he did. So we're just going to wait for that will to be open, and we're just going to do what the will says.
Yeah.
I knew what it said because I was executor. I had a copy, but still. But I needed someone who wasn't emotionally invested.
Sure.
And Casey was great. My wife, she was, because at one point, the whole other side of that story was we weren't living in our house. We were living in Bobby Joe Edmonds' guest house out there in Wesson.
Oh, wow.
Because my house had been destroyed and
by water damage.
And so we're living out there. And I remember I just walked in one day and I just went and laid down on the bed, and I just laying there on my back. And Casey's like, you okay? And I was like, how am I going to do this? I said, because Buddy, my dad, Buddy's who I called when I didn't know, or I'm at a crossroads. Buddy was the guy, he raised me all my life, most of my life as a single dad. And he had to figure it out on the come. He didn't know anything about being a dad. He was 18 when I was born, so, but I was like, how am I going to do this? She said, you're going to do what you always do, Sandy. She said, you're going to take one step at a time like you always do. And you're going to figure it out. And even if you make a mistake, you know how to fix it. It's okay. And so she was great for that. But, and my oldest, Micah, my daughter, she went with me when I had to go make the call for him to, pull the plug on my dad. And she was with me through all the funeral arrangements. And I bet I didn't touch my phone for 2 days because she just had it.
Yeah.
And my phone rang. She was just, and I had dubbed her as my official bullshit blocker. She blocked all the bullshit from me for 2 or 3 solid days. And Troy called me at one point, and he's like, man, is there anything I can do? And I'm like, no, man, no, I appreciate it. Thank you. And hung up. And I was like, why did I just tell him there's nothing he could do? I said, I need my yard mowed.
Yeah.
Because even though we're not living in our house, I have a neighbor. She's sitting right over there. She's mean. And if I don't mow my yard, she'll come over and put a toilet with Christmas lights on it in my front yard. But I was like, I need my yard mowed. But at the same time, there's a huge dumpster in my driveway, so you can't get to my backyard. And unless you use a push mower, my backyard's too big to ask someone to push mow. And I was like, that's why I didn't ask, because it's just too much, And so I didn't think another thing about it. And then I go back, after I get back in town a couple of days later, I go by the house and my yard's mowed and the backyard. And so I'm pretty sure she took care of it. I don't know if she called Boomer. I don't know who she called, but she called someone. And you'll never to this day, know how thankful I am that I didn't. That was just one thing, but I didn't have to deal with it, and that's why I say, gosh, yes, I could have certainly used someone with your skill set, who's just not emotionally involved and was just like, mark X that one off. We can cross that one out. We got that done and that done.
I can attest to a wedding that, a lot of times the mothers are wanting, or the dad, I've seen it, us being in the catering business, really could have used someone to really do all those things like Anna's, like her service does. We were talking before we went on the air about Haley and Carter's wedding that Anna did, and it was sharp. There was a lot of sharpness to that wedding.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of things that you can do.
Yes. We have shirts that say, life runs better when the details are handled. And just those. And I remember walking into Haley and Carter's wedding, and something had happened, and my friend had come down. I was in Las Vegas at the time, and flew in town for the wedding. And fun fact, I had just walked in on a robbery in Las Vegas.
Oh, wow.
And thank God in heaven that they did not have a weapon, because they would have, they could have shot me, and I would have been, end of story.
That'll screw up a wedding.
Yeah. And so I'd come home the weekend after. My boss was like, why don't you go and do that? And so my best friend drove from Little Rock to here just to spend the weekend with me, and we walked in, and Miss Martha looked at me, and I said, what do we need to do? And it was something about cutting the cake. And so me and my best friend are in the kitchen at Mad, and just, and I was like, okay, it's handled. And so we were just back there cutting cake, and there was something else I think that she needed the menu written out. And she was like, and I was like, it's handled, I'll take care of it. And so we do weddings, we do day of coordination, we do parties, and just if it needs to be done, if it needs to be handled, I will handle it.
So how do people get in touch with you? And that's the bottom line here. How do they
you can look
find
us up
you?
on Facebook. We're at Sellers & Co. on Facebook. You can message us. You can call us. I have some business cards, but you can find us on Facebook, or Anna Sellers, or Sellers & Co. on Facebook. And so send us a message, and
she's pretty quick about answering too.
Yes.
Pretty quick about answering.
Yeah, pretty prompt. So, and just, it is my goal to be able to use the gifts that I have been blessed with to bless other people. And so
that's great.
Organizing, handling, all the things. When I was a kid, I used to go around and organize or stash things away. Or
let me ask you this.
Okay.
Martha just bought a new patio furniture, 6 chairs and a big table, and it's in 3 huge boxes with an umbrella.
Does it need to be put together?
You got some people?
I do. I have put together furniture.
By the way, can you deliver a printer from Boomer's house to here?
Well,
sure.
You told me you'd tell me when you need it.
I need it.
Okay, I'll go get it. I'll go get it here in a minute.
Okay. So yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting. I'm just thinking thousands and thousands
all the
of
different
scenarios
things that she could do. Yeah,
that just roll through your mind, and I would imagine, especially holidays, when people are planning on parties or
putting up Christmas decorations. Can
you keep my in-laws at bay? Can you keep them busy?
Let me ask you this. Here's another thing I thought about, because no matter what Martha and I do, and of course we're 70, 72, technology, it'll go wrong for us every time. It's just like Murphy's Law happens at our house. She signed up for something she didn't mean to sign up for a while ago. And I'm going through trying to get it unsigned up. And she says, well, it never would take my pass. Anyway, technology things.
Yeah.
Come set up, a new TV.
Get something set up. Or my parents are older, and my mom, has a different password for all the things. And she's like, what's my password? And I'm like, I don't know, and so making a log of, just things to make your life easier that you
I got an
might
app
not
for that.
necessarily think of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me the other day, they sent me a message, you know, and it was like dance recital season, graduation and season. And she was like, hey, I've got an idea. Would you be willing to like go and hold seats for people? She was like, I came to El Dorado graduation to sit for my friend and I've been here for an hour, but I think that's a good idea for your business for dance recitals. And I was like, you know, that's a great idea, you know?
Dance recital, that's satanic ritual.
That is.
Yeah.
You know,
is.
I was over at MAD the other day and I said, you know, we were talking about the Chuck Barrett event and I was like, can we, you know, be sure we lower the lights? I said, now I don't want it to be like dance recital dark in here.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, we get it. And I said, that's satanic thing. And Benji's like, what do you mean? Because, you know, of course, his wife puts on the dance recital.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know as well as I do.
Yeah, because all of them are in the
evil.
Finale.
That thing's evil. You know.
And you know what? And let's just be honest about it. Parents want to, after their little kid dances, they want to get up and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, that's so rude to the people coming and going, and
So?
then it's
While you're trying to watch.
Well, you're trying to watch, and it's noisy, and so they ask everybody just to stay, but then they'll put all the kids in the finale just to
Make
encourage
sure-
you to
yeah.
stay.
Let me say this. It is 1,000 times better at MAD than it ever was at the auditorium.
Is it? I hadn't been any at Mad.
It is so much better.
Now, we were eating at Madhouse the night that they had. I said, oh, my gosh, they must have something big at the restaurant. And, man, they were coming in by the droves. I said, oh, it's the dance recital.
Dance recital.
Yeah.
Yeah. That holistic
That's
moment.
just one more thing.
You know, it used to be Robert Edmonds and I, we would text each other. You know, it's like, thank God it's the last day of dance recital, you know, because he had girls and they, you know, they're in all 3 days, back when it was a 3-day event, and all 3 days, and they're dancing 8 times in each event, you know, and it's just, oh, dear God. And I remember one day he was like, I'm so glad this is over. And then like 10 minutes later, he texted me and said, you realize in 362 days, we got to do this again. And I was like, buzzkill, fun hater. You know, so,
man.
of course, all my best stories start off with Robert Edmonds and I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
Most of those I can't tell.
Yeah,
There's been non-disclosure agreements
'cause
signed.
Here's Sandy Sanford, Robert Edmonds. You know,
You don't need to know anything
there's
else.
your sign.
That's right.
Well, Anna, this has been not only informative for us, but just eye-opening as to the services that your company can do. That's just wonderful.
Yeah.
That, you know, I see
It's
some
cool.
things. I see some things I'm gonna run by Miss Barrios about
Yes.
catering events and things like that you could really
Yes.
lend a hand to.
Yes, I would be happy to help. You know, and if you think of anything and you're like, I wonder if Anna could do that, you know,
Yeah.
just reach out.
Sure.
The answer is probably yes. And if I can't do it, I will find someone
You
who
have
can do
you're
it.
the service that'll contract
You know, the problem
that.
at our house is my wife works too damn much. And so it's like,
Well, someone's got to make money.
yeah, somebody has to make a living. About time. And so, but it'll be like, okay, we'll look around the room and be like, I'm calling the older kids. They call themselves the 1.0s, my 3 older ones, and they call the younger ones the 2.0s, the 3 smallest ones. And so I'm like, okay, 2.2 has got to be at such and such place at 5:30. 2.3 has to be at such and such place at 5:40. They are 25 minutes away from each other. I need somebody
To do one of the
somebody to help in here. So, and so you may end up like, hey, next Tuesday at 5:15.
Could you deliver my child?
Could you deliver a child and pick them up? And so, and I mean, if McDonald's drive-through needs to be thrown in there, feel free.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we have some letters that people have written to us,
Awesome.
and we'll have those and more coming up right after this on Off the Back Porch.
Awesome.
With a name you trust, you can count on us. Glen Mechanical, plumbing, heating, and air.
For over 6 decades, Glen Mechanical has been specializing in HVAC, plumbing, and all mechanical jobs. 3 generations family owned and operated since 1956. Glen Mechanical's business is based on relationships. They support and give back to the communities they work in. Contact them for all of your HVAC, plumbing, and mechanical needs. GlenMechanical.com.
Experience, courage, common sense. All of these are traits we want in any elected position. but especially in the man we will pick as our next sheriff. Michael Fife hasn't just been in law enforcement for 30 plus years. He's the one who answers the call in the middle of the night, putting himself last and Union County first, looking folks in the eye, doing what's right, standing up for all of us. Vote for Michael Fife for Union County Sheriff.
For 50 years, one name has kept South Arkansas rolling strong, Smackover Motors. From brand new rides to dependable pre-owned vehicles and hard-working fleets, Smackover Motors has helped generations find the perfect fit for the road ahead. And long after the sale, their expert service department keeps you moving with trusted care, honest work, and hometown service you can count on. 50 years of keys, miles, handshakes, and community. Smackover Motors, driven by service, powered by trust since 1976.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer. Sometimes Jack's here from the big couch.
Yes.
And at our new studios, and that is 103 South Washington in historic and beautiful downtown El Dorado, Arkansas.
In our second podcast from
Second
here.
podcast from here.
With Anna Sellers today.
And now Anna's with us and gave absolutely zero cares about her reputation and came right on here.
As most don't.
Yeah, and she even
waltzed right on in.
She said, "I'm excited." I was like, "You poor soul. You have no idea."
She hadn't been watching most of these.
Yeah, she hadn't seen a whole lot of these ass sheets. Yeah, but she came up with an idea. Imagine that. She's figured out a way to make things better.
It's an idea, man, Chuck.
Yeah, and she is going to read to us the messages we've received from some of our viewers,
listeners.
This week. Yeah,
viewers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Here we go.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Dear Sandy and Boomer, I heard what you said about Pig Baby and how your daughter said you do more with a doll than you do with her. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yes. Well, that is, who was that from?
Rhonda, Monroe, Louisiana.
Okay, Rhonda, you're right. I should be, but I was given demands. So the whole story there is, when I got the Munchkin, she was 5.
Yeah.
And Pig Baby was her, that's her baby,
Yeah.
And so she would give her to me every day and say, "Daddy, I'm going to go to school and Pig Baby needs to go with you." And then she comes back to me after a few days.
Like, don't just put Pig Baby in the car.
But here's what she said. Pig Baby said, "All you did was take her to work."
Oh, so you didn't do anything.
She needs to do some fun stuff.
Oh, okay.
So every day I would have to have 3 or 4 pictures of me and Pig Baby doing something. Like I said, snow cone stand, going, the slides or the swings at the park, or just visiting with clients. Pig Baby got to go make a deposit with me one day, and went on a photo shoot with me one time, and
so those were demanded by
Munchkin,
one of the 2.0s.
Yeah, and so then she tells me, said, "Wow, you do more with Pig Baby than me." And so you talk about ashamed. Yes, believe me, the guilt is real. I have felt it. So yes, you're right, absolutely right, Rhonda. I should.
Thank you for noticing, Rhonda.
Yeah. Thank you for calling me out as a bad parent. Appreciate that.
Okay, dear Sandy and Boomer. Boomer saying kids these days, every episode is slowly turning him into a Cracker Barrel decoration. This is from Anna in Parker's Chapel, but it's not me. There's another Anna in Parker's Chapel.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more than just 2 of y'all. So, Boomer, you're like the checkerboard at Cracker Barrel. You're one of them rocking chairs.
Have you ever eaten at Cracker Barrel?
Yes.
Have you eaten recently?
It's probably been a year for me.
Probably been 6 months or so. Not the same.
Not as good.
No, I agree.
I don't know what they've done.
What a shame.
And I've eaten, I travel a lot in the dog world, and my buddy likes Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the couple that's eaten at every Cracker Barrel in the United States?
Hush.
Yeah. They were missing one Cracker Barrel that they had not eaten at.
The one in Arkadelphia? The one in Caddo?
Caddo Gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's true.
I'm not that into Cracker Barrel.
Me neither.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
Okay. Dear Sandy and Boomer, the podcast feels like sitting in a bait shop where somebody unexpectedly starts giving life advice.
Thank you.
We get a lot of that.
Thank you.
That and is watching y'all's podcast is like sitting down between 2 uncles at a family reunion.
Yeah.
And it's like getting invited.
If you're bored, flip.
Hey, all you gotta do is hit stop.
Yeah.
So it's.
But thank you.
But we get the.
Who was that, Anna?
That was from Donna in Magnolia.
Donna. I know Donna.
Yeah, maybe not. So, next one.
All right, dear Sandy and Boomer, the chemistry is great. It's like hearing 2 old guys try to fix a lawnmower with 0 tools but unlimited opinions. I did add old guys in there. They didn't write that.
Thank you, Anna.
Wow.
She jumped right in on
but hey,
this.
you know how it didn't shock
That's
us?
called piling on.
That's right.
15-yard penalty.
You know how to say it didn't shock us, though? We get the old guy thing all the time.
I did.
Yeah, and Sandy's 20 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So I'm
He
the
did
old.
take his hat off during the break, though. So
Yeah. So, in other words, she knows I'm bald. So,
Well, it's all right.
yeah.
We're follically challenged.
that is from Madison in El Dorado.
Okay. So, I know some Madisons.
I know some Madisons.
Yeah. Oh, you got a granddaughter named Madison, don't you?
Addison.
Addison. Okay, that's right. That's right. That's the prettiest girl in Union County.
She is.
I'm just telling you now.
Even if she is my granddaughter.
That is the prettiest. She's a gorgeous child.
And she's not a child anymore.
She's
brother.
not.
She's
I know.
20.
Yeah.
Ooh.
She has a great attitude and heart too. She's not just like physically beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say her whole aura. You just be around her, you can't help but be happy.
Let me tell you what this child does. Grandpa's brag on their grandkids. She'll come to church and her and Jackson fight over who gets to sit next to me. Because I'm going to sit next to Martha in one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Addison, when she comes to church, she brings her Bible. Now, she has her Bible with all the little tabs in it, that's not a tab Bible. She went out and got them and put them in there.
Mm-hmm.
Has a notebook and takes notes of the sermon. And if she's sitting on this side of me, I'm watching her notes and I'm going, I could have used her in college.
Yeah. I didn't get that from this sermon at all.
She's a lot deeper than I ever was or am now. Anyway, yeah, that's my Addison.
Yeah. Good
She
kid.
has two jobs. She works at Seven Brews and she also works at, it's not Martha's on the
Stevie
square anymore.
Joe's.
Stevie
Joe's,
Joe's.
yeah.
She works there as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
And models.
Yep.
Again, beautiful child. Beautiful, beautiful child.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right. The last one on this paper says, Dear Sandy and Boomer, I thought you might appreciate this. I played the podcast in the car and my dad started answering your questions like he was a third host. His name is Walter, and I know he would love if y'all said hello to him.
Well, hello, Walter.
hello, Walter. We appreciate. Come on in, Walter. Come on sometime. Be on here with us.
Yeah.
Sound like Walter's an old guy too.
What's the ventriloquist that has Walter?
Oh, Jeff Dunham.
Dunham. Yeah. And Walter's the
old guy.
The old guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not saying this Walter is.
Who wrote that one?
Trina and Rustin.
Trina and Rustin. Well,
Trina.
Trina, tell your dad we
Tell
appreciate
your
it.
dad.
And he's more than welcome to come join us on the podcast
We'd love to
anytime.
have him.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a
And
seat on the couch for him.
that's right. We've got room, and I've got another microphone, so
Okay.
we could have him here. We get a lot of those about people listening with their kids or their parents.
Yeah.
And that's this last one. Dear Sandy and Boomer, my son and I were fishing last weekend and listening to the podcast. My son says, quote, remind me to never let Sandy be my tour guide anywhere, or never let him be my tour guide anywhere, because he takes more rabbit trails than anyone I've ever heard.
He's almost as bad as I am.
Daniel and Warren.
We do
That's
get
funny.
off on tangents,
We
say.
do, but I think that's what makes the show fun. And people would joke with us. They'll write in and say, y'all have shown that you can have a whole podcast with zero preparation. And I'm glad it comes off that way, because there's a ton of
there's a
good
lot
prep
of
that goes into this show.
So Jackson asked me, he was at the house before I left, and he said, well, what are y'all going to talk about today? I said, I don't know. I'll find out when I get there. I said, Sandy's got it in his head. He got it written down what we're going to talk about, but we'll just go from there.
Yeah. I was talking to someone the other day, and they were like, I've become a huge fan of your podcast and I watch every week and blah, blah. And I was like, I appreciate it. Thank you. And they're like, no, really. I had no idea that you and Troy were that well-versed in everything. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden I didn't take that as a compliment.
Yeah. So you're saying we're know-it-alls?
Well, are you saying that we what is the old saying about,
fake it till you make
master
it?
of none? Jack of many trades, jack of all trades, and master of none. Yeah. It's kind of how I took that.
Yeah.
But we have fun, and that's the biggest thing. And of course, there's people who don't like us, and I'm okay with that.
And They'll write in and tell us.
Yeah, and that's
They'll
what's
let you know they don't like you.
That's what's
No,
so
they
funny
do.
to me is there was a guy a couple weeks ago that wrote us a nasty letter.
Really?
Very
it was.
nasty.
It was pretty nasty.
And I mean, even though I knew it ahead of time, just reading it out to our audience, it pissed me off all over again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, if you hate us that much, why are you watching?
Yeah.
You know.
You can turn it off.
Exactly. We are not on someone's TV channel where you can't watch something else.
You don't have any of those Dear Abby ones this week?
I did not. I did not
We
have
had
any
a
of those.
guy that said he was remarried, but was sending birthday cards and
Mother's Day cards
to his ex-wife, and his new wife took exception to it. And I thought, if the kids are small, and I did that. Of course, I wasn't remarried. When the kids were small, I would get a Mother's Day card and have them sign it and send it to their mother. Mm-hmm. Just if they were with me, and a lot of times they were. But that's a little much when you're remarried and the kids are adults, and you're sending a card to your ex for.
So he tells his wife, he said, well, I'm going to just write Sandy and Boomer. And she said, good. They're both divorced. I bet they don't send cards to their ex-wives. And I was telling my wife, I was telling her about it, and she's like, a text should suffice. And I was like, that, and I do send a text to my ex-wife every Mother's Day and on her birthday. I'll send her a happy birthday, and I send her a text every Mother's Day. And, that's that. And she'll send the same to me on Father's Day and my birthday.
But getting a Hallmark card, maybe a little much.
That just seems a little,
Well, maybe modeling it for their kids so their kids know to do that.
Yes, until they're.
But the kids are grown now.
Oh, but the kids were grown.
And that's what he said. He said that
the kids are gone now.
The kids are grown now, and they. But he had tried not to send her a card, and his kids kind of freaked out on him about it.
Oh.
And so he's like, so what do I do here? I'm like, send her a text.
And we get some of those breakup Dear Abby type.
Oh gosh, yes, we get those.
Should I do this? And I'm going, hey, if you're asking us for advice,
you're already behind.
Relationship. Hey, and back in the day, I had, I was getting my life straight. I divorced and had a good friend of mine. He was one of the coaches in the town that I lived in, and his wife called me. I lived in another town and said, can we talk for a minute? I said, well, sure. She said, well, would you meet me out at Cowboys? I went, okay. So I went out to Cowboys and sat outside in the parking lot. And I said, you know what? I said, you're asking the wrong person. I said, I failed miserably. I got a divorce and failed miserably at my first marriage. I said, I'm thinking about how I ought to do it again, but don't ask me, don't ask me. And that's what we say. If you're asking us for advice, I said, go ask your pastor or why
are you reaching out to us?
Why are you reaching out to us? We're just a couple of old guys.
But one of my favorites was a guy. He's like, man, my wife came home from her company Christmas party. She was glowing. She was evidently the belle of the ball. And he said, but then I found out why. They did a secret Santa exchange, and she had drawn a guy there at work, and she didn't have anything. She didn't know what to get him. So she took him a bottle of my bourbon from my collection, and she took him a bottle of 10-year-old Pappy, and it's about $1,100 bottle of bourbon. And she doesn't understand why he's so upset. And I'm like, if he had went in her jewelry box and taken out some jewelry and gave it to a woman he worked with, what would she think?
Yeah.
And boy, we've gotten a lot of mail since that one. There's people who are like, by gosh, I think that was grounds for divorce and all kinds of stuff. So.
Yeah, definitely a strong talking to.
But we have some great, every now and then we'll get just really great ones. So there was a lady that wrote us recently that her daughter was 10 and had walked in and found the lady's husband and her father, the girl's father, dead. He had electrocuted himself doing some home repairs.
Oh my goodness.
And the 10-year-old found him. And she said, obviously she needed some therapy after that. And said one day the therapist shared with the mom and said, one of her biggest fears is that there's going to be things in life she can't learn from anyone other than her dad. And now he's gone. And so they come up with the idea of, we'll find some podcasts with people who, just guys who, and they may have advice.
Yeah.
And so she wrote us and said, we've been watching y'all for about 6 months. She said, as far as our political ideals, they pretty much line up. It seems like our morals are pretty much the same. And her name is Lanya, and she loves y'all. She's 13 now. And she said, I just know she would just be over the moon if y'all said something to her. So we did. We just spoke directly into the camera and talked to her, and that's been my absolute favorite.
That was the best one
to
ever.
Get to do that. And obviously, we never said where they were from, but they were from a little. And she said, "Please don't say where we're from because we're from a small town." And I'm like, I get it, but those, and then every now and then you get some idiots. Some people are just idiots, We're like, hey, you do realize you're an idiot, right? Yeah. Not only did you write into us, which confirms that you're an idiot, but then you said, but we have a lot of fun, and the last I came across it the other day. The last we were on the air. Boomer and I were on the air together was 2012. And so we've been 14 years, I guess 13 from when we started this without doing a show together. And it still amazed me that even, it could happen again today, but it happens a lot. Somebody will walk up and say, man, I remember this time you and Boomer said this, or y'all did this or said that, or y'all were broadcasting over at such and such. And I'm like, I don't even remember this, but they can tell me verbatim what we said.
What we're doing.
And it's just like, wow, that's, and so
that's been the joy of doing this, is that the impact that you have on a little person like Lana.
Yeah.
And that you get a reaction out of somebody that says, y'all are a couple of idiots, but we listen to it while we're. Have you ever said, have we ever gone fishing and said we were going to listen to a podcast?
Never.
We were fishing.
Yeah.
So if a guy's fishing and him and his son are listening to a podcast,
yeah.
I said, well, that's impactful, even if we are a couple of goofballs. So I'm going through the pharmacy yesterday, and the girl that waited on me at the window is a friend of mine, and she was saying that her son, who's a teenager, is on a Mediterranean boat trip.
Yeah.
Tour. I said, what?
Mediterranean. Wow.
I said, how cool is that? She says, well, they went through Italy, but they're on a ship, it's a cruise. And said, but he could see, the volcanoes and all that.
Yeah.
And I said, well, why didn't you go? She says, well, it's my sister went, and her sister-in-law, and their kids are friends. And so I said, well, how cool is that?
I never had any of those friends growing up.
I didn't have those friends either.
I went to Galveston a couple times.
Yeah.
Went to Lake Livingston.
I got to go to Conroe and went to
exactly
to the lake out in Conroe.
Lake Conroe, yeah. So we went down to the Ship Channel.
Yeah, I've been at the Ship Channel. My uncle took me crabbing down at the ship. Almost said it at the Ship Channel when we was kids, and I thought that was fun.
Anna, thank you so much for coming and joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And it has been enlightening.
Yeah.
To realize that not only what you do, but that service is available.
Yes,
and
here in South Arkansas.
So
again, Facebook, Seller & Co. are at Facebook, Anna Sellers, and you can reach her that way. And like I said, she's very quick about getting back to you. So again, thank you so much for coming and joining us. And that's going to do it for us. So until next week, God bless and have a great weekend.
With a history of being the voices you trust, this is Off the Back Porch.